striving for the luxury liner. Volume 21 Chapter 1 4. Hiroshiro Neko of the Mormor clan. Chapter 1 Launch of scheduled shipping routes. After settling things with Count on trade, I was sleeping at the castle when the vice commander of the Cagliari naval base came to visit. Camille-san cut out the vice commander's suggestion in one fell swoop, but the vice commander, who had a thick skin, made a new suggestion out of the situation. It's been a while since I wore this. The mage-sama in the hooded robe. I feel like my true identity is pretty obvious, so I'm a little embarrassed, but it's better than not, so I put on the hood and hide my face. That's right, then we'll call you Mage-sama from now on, just to be on the safe side. Ins laughs at my indescribable grumbling and nods in agreement. That's right, that was the agreement. Felicia nods as well. So I guess she'll call me Mage-sama as well. Oh, just a minute. Oh, never mind, but if there are other people around, I can't show my face under the hood. Rimmer and Pent came into the hood, probably because they were curious about what was inside. If someone saw them from under the hood, it would be obvious who I was, so I was worried. But Rimmer and Pent are good children who follow orders, and they send me a telepathic message to say they understood. So I guess it's okay. Is this about right? I docked the fortress in the harbor of Cagliari. If I wait here, Camille-san will bring the supplies for the affected areas. After letting Camille-san decide at the request of the vice commander, I finally agreed to cooperate. I thought it was a bit tedious, but I nodded obediently with all my strength. Well, Camille-san's power at that time was amazing. It was only natural that the relief supplies were provided by the government. But instead of asking for money to cover the cost of transporting them to the affected areas, she demanded that they be paid for using the rights and priority at the port of Cagliari. I later heard from Camille-san that the vice commander, although he looked like an ordinary middle-aged man, was actually a very capable person and a cunning old fox. From my point of view, he was a useless old man who said unnecessary things and owed us, but apparently, he had to mention it as the vice commander. If he had ignored the threat of the magic cannon, he would have lost other things, so he mentioned it, but it seems that he was trying to build evidence that he was threatened by the ship's movement and that he had no choice. He came alone because he wanted to make a backroom deal in case things didn't go well. It's a world I know nothing about. And there was a reason why I felt that Camille-san was being strict with that vice commander. That vice commander wanted to interfere with the castle's interests, and he made various requests and minor harassments. Normally, this would make him an enemy of the castle, but he was so sneaky that it was hard to tell whether he was harassing us or playing a prank, so it was hard to classify him as an enemy, but at the same time, we couldn't just ignore him. However, it was also a situation where we didn't want him to be involved with the castle. He used his position as vice commander of Cagliari to increase Camille-san's and the others' workload by requesting more documents, reports, and inspections. Since these requests were made within the scope of official duties, even Camille-san and the others found it difficult to deal with them. This time, however, the situation changed. The castle showed its determination to leave the kingdom of Brescia, and the navy left the castle. With the shackles removed, Camille-san negotiated vigorously with the vice commander and won various concessions and preferential treatment from him. I couldn't understand everything, but I believe that the castle will be treated with the same level of favoritism in the port of Cagliari, both on the surface and behind the scenes. Because when the negotiations were over, the vice commander looked like a withered vegetable. Camille-san waves to us from the bow of the military ship with a big smile on her face. I guess she's here with the supplies because the fortress has arrived. I don't want to make her angry. I want to greet Camille-san, but I retreat to my room. I can't just go out in public now that I'm the mage. I'm sure Marina-san and the others will take care of the distribution of the supplies. Looking out the window of my room, I see many military ships heading this way. Camille-san has left the task of collecting the supplies and transporting them to the fortress to the vice commander. I've also given them the boarding tickets, so I think the loading will be finished in a few hours. ****. Thank you for your cooperation this time, Mage-sama. Please take care of us until we reach our destination. The captain of the soldiers greets me with a nervous expression. I'm pretty nervous, too, since it's been a while since I last played the role of the mage. Will I be able to react correctly? I have to keep my voice low and try not to sound like myself as much as possible. Yeah, I understand. However, You are not allowed to move freely on the ship. You must only move within the designated area. If you do not, you will be thrown overboard. Perfect. I was able to respond firmly without my voice breaking or getting stuck. Maybe I've grown up unexpectedly. The problem is that this time, we're transporting not only the supplies but also about 100 soldiers. The military can't send ships either, but it would be bad not to send people to help, so we're sending soldiers along with the supplies to the various affected places. Now, I don't plan to let them wander around freely on the ship, so I've set a limit to their movement and disguised the ship to make it look like a magic ship from this world. However, from their point of view, it's also an opportunity to reveal our secret, and I think some of them will probably be thrown overboard. I can't wait to see what kind of excuses they'll make. I'll make sure my men know what to do. Well, we won't be responsible for those who are thrown overboard. Be very careful and stay back. Phew. It's hard to be bossy. Well, if I give them a warning like that, they won't act trashly, and even if they do, I won't have to be too hard on them. Just when I thought the greetings were over, there was a knock at the door. The people in the room right now are Camille-san, Marina-san, Carla-san, and Claretta-san. So, is it Inz or Felicia? I turn my head to Marina-san. I'm the mage now, so I shouldn't move around too much. Marina-san opened the door, and Felicia walked in. Mage Sama, one of the soldiers who was brought here, went outside the restricted area and got kicked out. He's screaming that he can't get back in. That was fast. That soldier is very resourceful to have fallen before I could warn him. Besides, Felicia, you were about to call me master, weren't you? Please be careful. Leave him alone. It seems you've lost one of your men before we've even set sail. He won't die this time since we're still near the harbor, but once we set sail, don't expect to be rescued. Now stand back. Could you let that soldier back on board again? Mage Sama has ordered you to stand down. Besides, I thought we made it clear that you were not to act on your own. Do you want to cause more trouble for Mage Sama and shame me as well? I beg your pardon. Camille-san interrupted the captain and took him outside. I was already fed up with him, so I was glad to be saved. Phew. How was it? After Camille-san and the captain left the room, I asked Marina-san and the others who acted as my bodyguards for their impressions. You were better than before. You didn't act like Wataru. That's true. I think you could have been a little nicer, but considering your position, there's nothing you can do about it. It seems that the three of them gave me a good evaluation. I'm not sure if Carla-san's comment that I didn't look like myself was a compliment, but I'll just go with it. Well, I guess it's time to set sail. Are you ready? The four of them, including Felicia, nodded, so I decided there was no problem and headed for the bridge. Our first destination is the nearest coastal village. They must have had a terrible time being attacked, so the sooner we get there, the better. Wataru, can I get something to eat? While I was mentally preparing myself, Carla-san's request came out of the blue. It seems that she's finished talking and wants to enjoy the May food in the fortress right away. Okay. Soldiers are not allowed in the dining area, but please don't let your guard down. Yes. Carla-san replied cheerfully and then skipped away. Wataru, I'm sorry about Carla. Wataru, I'm sorry. She's been looking forward to this for a long time. Haha, it's okay. Also, just in case, when I'm dressed like this, please call me Mage Sama. Shall we go then? Marina-san and Claretta-san apologized to me for Carla-san's free-spirited behavior, but I really didn't mind. In fact, I was grateful that she was able to hold out until the captain left. Accompanying us on the boat trip this time were Inz and Felicia, as well as Camille-san, Marina-san, Carla-san, and Claretta-san. Personally, I would have been grateful if all the members of the Girasol had been able to join me on this trip, but there were some nobles who were reckless, like Count on trade, so half of them had to stay in Lucca. The members were selected as follows. Claretta-san, who is a priest, was chosen first as a companion because it was an affected area, and then Marina-san, who could keep an eye on the surroundings because the country was in a state of turmoil and it was an affected area. The last member was thought to be either Alessia-san or Dorothea-san, who are the leaders of the group, but Carla-san surprisingly put in a hard bid for the position. She wanted to eat delicious food. According to Carla-san, she wanted to eat the food in the fortress. She probably thought that if she was left behind on this boat trip, which would probably take some time, she would have fewer opportunities to eat delicious food, and so she couldn't bear it. Even while on guard duty in Lucca, It was inevitable that the quality of the food would deteriorate, even if they brought various things with them. For Carla-san, who loves to eat, this must have been a big problem. It's been a long time since Carla-san enjoyed her meal on the fortress, and she's been holding back until now, so I have no intention of getting angry. In fact, I think it's great that she can hold back. And Camille-san, I thought it might be a bad idea to leave the castle in the current situation, but since Moro-san and Donatella-san were there, it was decided that she would accompany us on this boat trip. After delivering relief supplies to the affected areas, we will extend our trip to the southern city to lay the groundwork for a regular shipping route. At first, I wanted to scrap the plan for a regular shipping route, but as the preparations progressed, I began to look forward to it a little, which is strange. Striving for the Luxury Liner, Volume 21 Chapter 2. Enjoy. Chapter 2. No mountains or valleys. In order to support the villages and towns attacked by Countdown trade and to lay the groundwork for a regular shipping route, I was to set out for the fortress with supplies and about 100 soldiers. Ins, Felicia, Camille-san, Marina-san, Carla-san, Claretta-san. But I'm quietly sad that sexy Ilma-san isn't here, and I'm also a little worried that the leaders, Alessia-san and Dorothea-san, aren't here either. Okay, stop. Master, put it down. Roger that. I operate the crane to lower the magic cannon onto the wide front deck of the hideaway. Master, I've removed the wire. Roger that. Ins, thank you. I'll check it from a little further away. I operate the crane ship to move away from the hideaway. Not bad. The hideaway looks a bit like a spaceship, so the magic cannon in front of it fits surprisingly well. Don't you think so, Felicia? It's cool. This is really something. The only thing is that the hideaway can't move by itself. But if you think of it as a fortress, having more ways to attack isn't a bad thing. Invincible defenses and powerful magic cannons. I can't think of an occasion to use them, but it's perfect in a romantic way. Is that so? Master, it's true that it doesn't look out of place from a distance, but when you think about the purpose of using the hideaway, isn't it a bit too crude? Is that so? I'm a little, quite shocked by the unexpected words of Felicia, who basically always gives me full approval. But when she says it like that, I can't deny it. The hideaway is a luxury resort floating island, so if it's used as a floating island, the existence of the magic cannon would be out of place. A rich artificial floating island where beautiful women in swimsuits frolic under the bright sun. If you ask me if a magic cannon would fit in the background of such a place, I'd say number. I guess it's not good for the hideaway either. I'm in a bit of a dilemma right now. I've worked so hard to get my hands on the magic cannon, but I can't decide where to install it. As I expected, the luxury liner and the ferry are too big, making the magic cannon's presence disappear. I couldn't place the magic cannon on the front deck of the latter. Of course, smaller ships can't carry the magic cannon. In desperation, I tried to install it on the top of the White Dolphin. But while it looked cool to have a magic cannon on the top of a submarine, the submarine couldn't dive while the magic cannon was installed. A submarine that can't dive is useless. To make the magic cannon completely waterproof, that's impossible, right? I desperately wanted a magic cannon. I've completely lost control of it now. In this situation, is there any other way but to buy a ship that perfectly matches the magic cannon? What kind of ship would be good? If it is to match the magic cannon, a battleship would be good, but I can't buy a battleship with ship summoning. I wonder if there are any mechanical-looking civilian ships. Felicia, what's wrong with the look on your face? I was worried about the ship that would match the magic cannon, and when I looked at Felicia to get her opinion, she looked worried or troubled. Master, I understand that it's not right for a slave to say this, but is it okay to do this? Felicia got right to the point with a determined look on her face. That's right. While we were out at sea, testing and experimenting with the magic cannon, the people who went to help worked hard to save people. If they were far away or if none of her relatives were involved, Felicia wouldn't have been so worried. But Camille-san was distributing supplies, Claretta-san was treating the wounded, Carla-san was providing security, Marina-san was guarding the area, and the soldiers on the fortress were also working hard to rescue people. The scene was horrible. Houses had been burned down, people who resisted had been killed, and food and valuables had been stolen. The victims didn't even have time to bury the dead, and it was truly a scene from hell. I even regretted releasing Countdown trade into the sea. It was too late now, but if I had known about the disaster beforehand, I would have taken him to visit the affected areas. Words like revenge don't bring anything and it's not worth getting your hands dirty also came to mind. But I thought it was only natural for him to serve as a stress-relieving punching bag for the survivors. Yes, I know what you mean, Felicia. But the biggest contribution we can make is to stay out on the open sea. Support for the disaster area attacked by Countdown Trade. There are probably different political circumstances involved, but it is still a good deed. And it is important to support that it can be a thread that connects the lives of the affected people. Even though I thought that as a commoner, I had no business being involved in the government's relief efforts, I was still determined to help out as much as I could and do some good. But even as an amateur, I was already a hindrance, and with me around, they had to spend even more time on things like security, so we came to the conclusion that it would be better if I wasn't there. Of course, this was true even though I was participating as Wataru, not as the mage. I felt that I could do anything with the awesome power of ship summoning, but it seemed that I was just an ordinary human being in places outside of my domain. Well, I already knew that. No, Master is different. You've transported so many supplies and people, and you're still using the fortress as a place for refugees to rest. That's very admirable. It's me who can't do anything. Ah, I see. Felicia and the other Dark Elves have been kidnapped and enslaved, and their villages have been attacked, so it's not something that's completely foreign to them. That's probably why she's so negative. Normally, she's the type of person who would be able to take a more dispassionate view of the situation and come to a satisfactory conclusion. Well, Felicia doesn't have the same problems I do when it comes to going outside. So you should just look for something you can do on the field from now on. Is that okay? Yes. It's safe inside the fortress, but you won't be in any danger when we go out on the open sea. Ins and Rimu are also with us, so it's okay if Felicia does what she wants. It's sad when Felicia isn't in a good mood, and it's hard to flirt with her. Thank you, Master. Why yeah. Oh, is that what they call a transparent smile? Felicia already has a beautiful smile, but her exquisite smile is extremely powerful. I'm sorry, I thought it would interfere with our flirting. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. I could see Southern City in the distance. It felt like a long time, but in fact, it had been quite a while. The relief work ended without any ups or downs. I heard that other people had many difficulties, but I was basically left out of it all, so I don't have much of an impression. However, the people involved in the relief activities had a lot of trouble. It seems that the people receiving the aid were also having a hard time, with some becoming more aggressive or desperate in their circumstances and some even doing reckless things. There was one problem that I was deeply involved in, and that was when the people who had been evacuated to the fortress refused to disembark. The ship had been disguised to look like a facility for this world, but it was still quite comfortable, and various things happened, such as people asking to stay for a long time or asking to be taken to the evacuation site. Since Mage Sama couldn't appear in public, the military handled the situation, but it ended up becoming quite a big problem. Some people were thrown off the fortress, and things settled down. Speaking of being thrown off the ship, it seems that Camille-san counted the number of soldiers correctly, and the final number of soldiers who disembarked was 82. 18 people are missing. No. The location of the first person is known, so 17 people are missing. I want to believe that they were doing the reckless things close to land, knowing that they would be thrown off the ship if they caused trouble. In the midst of all this, Felicia also helped with the relief efforts while looking for things to do, and gradually, her pent-up feelings were released, and she became more open to flirting. Wow. It's time to switch to the Lotto. We transferred to the Lotto and entered the harbor where I had come and gone many times in the old days on the Japanese-style boat. Speaking of which, what happened to that island to the southeast? The raft I made was quite popular, so maybe it'll become a small floating city or a small floating village. If I have time, I think I'll go take a look. By the way, I heard you were doing some groundwork in the southern city, but what exactly are you doing? When Camille asked me, I thought, well, doing groundwork is the basis of being a working adult. I was still in college, but I knew about it from reading business manga, so she didn't ask me for details. That's right, it's a big story, so I'm going to talk to the master of the merchant guild, and then to the southern count, and then to the king. I think. Huh? Do the Southern Count and the King need to be involved as well? Wataru-san. Even in the Kingdom of Brescia, you talked to the Crown Prince, high-ranking nobles, and the military, so what are you talking about now? Oh, that's right. I may have fooled around with the important people in the beginning. Well, I just handed everything over to Camille-san and the others, so I don't really remember much. That's right. Docking a luxury liner is a pretty big deal, and you need a permit, right? I was working in Southern City through an introduction from the Merchants Guild, so I thought that if I went through the Merchants Guild, there wouldn't be a problem. Well, I don't need to meet the important people, right? Well, that's right. On the surface, it's supposed to be me, Moro, and Donatella who are in charge of the castle, so I can handle most things. But if they make a request, please let me consult with you. It's a bit annoying, but it seems that the people who know my information know about me. I was active in the Southern City, so it's no surprise that the higher-ups know about me. Or rather, the guildmaster of the Merchants Guild in the Southern City knows about me, and I even lured Camille-san away from the Merchants Guild here, so they definitely know about me. I understand. I'd like you to avoid it as much as possible, but I'll think about it if you ask me. It would be one thing if I weren't there, but I feel guilty for not helping Camille-san out of her predicament even though I am there. But please avoid it as much as possible, I beg you. Striving for the Luxury Liner, Volume 21 Chapter 3. Chapter 3, Gilmers makes his appearance. While I was worrying and thinking about things like where to install the magic cannon on the ship, how to avoid getting in the way of the disaster relief activities, how Count Dontrade is a total bastard, how I'm happy when Felicia cheers up, and how 17 soldiers are missing. The relief activities ended without any ups and downs, and we arrived at the Southern City. What should we do now? Camille-san immediately went to the Merchants Guild. The rest of us didn't have anything to do, so we could have just relaxed, but we were bored. I've lived in the Southern City for a long time, so I know a lot of people there. There's the innkeeper who took care of me, the craftsman who made the raft, Guido-san and the others who were kind to me on the southeastern island, and Rico-san and the others who protected me, and a few others I can remember. But it's delicate, very delicate, because I was in a position where I was being targeted. I was cautious and didn't make any unnecessary contacts, and I didn't develop a relationship that could be called a friendship. It was really a relationship based solely on work. The only people I worked hard to maintain a relationship with within the Southern City were Alessia-san and the others and Camille-san. Of course, that was because they were all beautiful, and I was attracted to their charm. Fortunately, I was able to successfully recruit them all. It's important to keep in touch with people, so there's nothing wrong with going to say hello, but I don't know what to do. I don't even know where many of them are. Well, I guess it'll be okay if I run into them or pass by them. For now, I think I'll visit the southeastern island. To be honest, I've spent more time on the southeastern island than the Southern City. Come to think of it, there's also the possibility of going upstream to the cheese village. The cheese there was delicious, but compared to the cheese on the luxury liner, I don't feel like going out of my way for it. Everyone, I'm curious about what's happening on the southeastern island, so why don't we visit? Ins and Felicia look normal, but Marina-san, Carla-san, and Claretta-san look at me with worried expressions. Why is that? Wataru, the island is an important island with valuable medicinal herbs and monsters, so it's managed by the Merchant Guild. I don't think you'll be punished, but it's better to get permission first if you want to go. Is that so? I'm very surprised by Marina-san's words. What? Really? I don't remember getting any kind of permission. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I wouldn't forget something this important. Wataru, you took jobs from the Merchants Guild, right? Oh, that's right. I was accepting requests from the Merchants Guild that runs the island, so of course, I had permission. I understand. I gave up. I don't want to go that far. Oh, but Rimmer was born in the forest on that island, right? Rimmer? Do you want to go to the island where Rimmer was born? I gently put Rimmer down, who was jumping up and down on my head, and asked him if Rimmer wants to go. I'll take him there, even if the Merchants Guild won't allow it. I don't know. His answer was slower than usual, so it seemed like he was thinking about it, but he didn't know. Speaking of which, how did you find Rimmer? When Alessia-san and the others brought Rimmer back, I was so engrossed in his cuteness that I didn't hear the story. I found him shaking on a fallen tree, so I brought him back. I see. Marina-san's answer was very simple, but I can kind of imagine the situation. I feel like I want to take Rimmer back to his birthplace, but he doesn't remember anything about it and seems unresponsive. My mother once told me that Wataru was born here, but I didn't feel any emotion. My mother looked nostalgic, though. This is the pattern where I get excited, and the difference in the level of enthusiasm between Rimmer and me makes me feel uncomfortable. Alright, I'll leave the southeastern island to chance. Marina and the others, do you want to go somewhere? Marina-san and the others were adventurers in the southern city, so there must be people they want to see. If it sounds like fun, it might be good to go with them. Us? Well, I'd like to go to the Adventurers Guild. The Adventurers Guild? I was indebted to the Adventurers Guild in the western city, but I didn't have much to do with them in the southern city. There was even a slightly embarrassing incident. Is that all? I have Inz and Felicia. And Rimmer and Pent as my bodyguards, so don't worry about me, okay? When I tried to end it with Inz and Felicia, Rimmer twitched, and Pent wrapped himself around me. It seems that Rimmer and Pent also thought they were my bodyguards. How unreliable do they think I am? But it's true. What? I don't have any other plans. Wataru's food is the best. Thank you for your concern, but we're not very good at human relations, so there's no one we want to visit. Oh, but I think I'd like to go to church later. Claretta-san smiles and tells me that they're not good at human relationships. This is the same thing, right? It's a pattern where the situation is similar to mine, but the essence is completely different. The pattern where you're too popular to get involved with other people. If I sympathize with them and say we're the same, I'll be embarrassed later. I know, but I think it's true. If it's a guy, it's normal not to stay calm around Girasol. If it's two girls, it'll be scary if I think about it, so let's stop. For now, there doesn't seem to be any reason to go outside, so let's relax on the latte for a while. Wataru-san. I was sipping tea when I heard Camille-san's voice from outside. The fact that she came back but didn't come in means that she must be bringing someone with her. The outside might be fine, but the inside isn't disguised as a normal magic ship, so I'd better change the interior to disguise it, just in case. Wataru, the guildmaster of the Merchant Guild, is here. Thank you. It seems that while I was changing the interior, Marina-san went to check on the visitor and told me about it. The guildmaster. Since Camille-san went to lay the groundwork, it's definitely the regular shipping route, right? When I stepped outside after finishing the disguise, I saw Camille-san, who looked a little worried, and the guildmaster of the Merchants Guild, whom I hadn't seen in a long time. He looked like a kindly old man, but he seemed to be full of energy, and even his old body seemed to have grown larger. The guildmaster must have heard about a good business opportunity and rejuvenated himself. I should have gone to greet him without thinking that our relationship was weak. Wataru-san, I'm sorry for coming so suddenly. The guildmaster wants to talk to you. Wataru, it's been a while. The guildmaster bursts in as if to interrupt Camille-san's words. He's full of motivation. It's been a while. There's no need to talk outside, so please come in. I give Gilmer's permission to come aboard and invite him in. I'm sorry, Wataru-san. No, I understand the situation more or less, so there's no need to worry. Camille-san apologized again, but I understand the strong-willed nature of merchants in this world. He was her old boss, so I guess there was nothing she could do. So, what can I do for you? I served tea to Gilmer's and Camille-san as well, and I had a general idea of what this was about, but I still asked him about his business in case I was wrong. If I say something like, I think you mean the regular shipping routes, right? And he answers with a blank look on his face, I will be embarrassed. Yes, I heard about it from Camille. I appreciate you bringing us such an interesting story, and the Merchants Guild will cooperate fully. Things are moving quickly. Well, we appreciate your cooperation, but what about the details of the agreement? Normally, this is the point where the fierce negotiations to get the most profit start, right? Well, when the fierce negotiations start, I'll hide behind Camille-san. A minimum amount of negotiation is necessary, but when there's a good deal like this, there are always people trying to get in on the side. Then we have to decide before someone tries to get in on the side. No, I'm happy to be evaluated, but are you sure it's okay? I'm the kind of person who feels more anxiety than joy when I'm being evaluated. I'm a small-town person at heart. Gilmer's, you're rushing things. Wataru-san, there's nothing to worry about. so please don't worry. I guess my worry showed on my face because Camille-san stepped in to help. Thank goodness. Camille-san, why are you talking so fast? It's not just yesterday, but today, and it's only been a few hours since Camille-san left. It's because, as Gilmers said, they're afraid of being disturbed. I think you experienced it in the kingdom of Brescia, but the influence of the castle is huge. Well, that's why the purge began. Of course, the upper echelons of various countries, guilds, and so on are paying attention. Once they find out about the castle's regular shipping routes, they'll try to get a piece of the action, even if it means using a little underhanded means. Gilmers came barging in because he wants to make a deal with the god of commerce Sama before that happens. Well, that's to be expected. Even the Japanese-style boats that can go to the southeastern islands have been targeted and taken to court. The castle is of a much bigger interest than that. It's going to be a big deal. I see. That's why he wants a contract mediated by the god of commerce Sama. Even royalty and nobility are reluctant to pick a fight with a god. But the mage Sama is leaving everything to Camille, right? Why are you here? I don't have to tell you, do I? Gilmers said. So it's obvious that I'm the mage Sama. However, I don't approve of it. Well, the mage Sama leaves everything to Camille-san, so as long as Camille-san is satisfied, it's okay. I guess he's trying to get the deal done quickly because he's afraid that the negotiations will be overturned by my opinion. That doesn't bother me at all, so I hope he's doing his best. I am relieved. Then, Camille, let's work out the details. I understand. We've put our demands into one document. That's the castle's paper, isn't it? It's great that she makes good use of office supplies. Hey, Camille. We're on good terms, right? I don't think you're getting punished for being a little nicer, are you? Gilmers panics after reading Camille-san's documents. I wonder if the content is quite harsh. Is it? I think the Merchants Guild will also make a good profit. That's true, but you're putting all the trouble on us, aren't you? Oh no, it seems that Camille-san has dumped the troublesome part that I've dumped on Gilmers. Considering our relationship, does Gilmers end up in a position like a subcontractor? To think that the darkness of modern society can be seen even in another world. Striving for the Luxury Liner, Volume 21 Chapter 4. Enjoy. Chapter 4, Southeastern Island. When I arrived in Southern City, I was shocked to find that there were no people to greet me as the relationship was unexpectedly weak. Camille-san returned with the guildmaster of the Merchants Guild. It seems that she wanted to have a meeting with me present to avoid unnecessary trouble. There's nothing wrong with negotiating with the Merchants Guild in the royal capital and the Southern Count, but I don't think it's a good idea to leave the reporting to the king and the negotiating to us. Gilmers, who had groaned at Camille-san's request, began their negotiations. I see. So we've left the important people to the guildmaster. I'm a little worried about the interests and bribes, but if Camille-san, who worked under Gilmers, thinks it's okay, then there shouldn't be a problem. If I go directly to the negotiations, won't that reduce the profits of the Merchants Guild? Don't talk nonsense to me. You want to reduce the government's interference, so you're using the Merchants Guild as a middleman. Whether I go or you go, the maximum amount of profit you can give to the country has already been decided. That's why I'm asking you, Gilmers. If we don't do our best here, Moro-san will also be working on the castle, so you know what will happen later, right? Besides, it's not like the castle has to dock in the southern city. Isn't it easy to negotiate? Well, it's annoying to show weakness to that old man. The old man is calling another old man an old man. Well, that's not important. But it feels like I'm being told to read between the lines of the conversation. Gilmers and Moro-san seem to be in a bit of a rivalry, and it seems like Camille-san is trying to stir things up by pointing that out. Well, as Camille-san said, it doesn't matter where the castle docks, so we can get an advantage even against a country. Still, I'm sure she's asking him to cut the country's interests as much as possible. In the kingdom of Brescia, I think the relationship between the country and the crown prince was good, but is it different in the kingdom of Latina? What Trusan? In this country, the so-called four counts, who are related to the royal family, have power. Of course, we have to pay attention to the interests of the southern count, who is one of them. But we can't ignore the other three counts either. Camille-san explained. Perhaps because my doubts were written all over my face. I see. In Brescia, it was enough to establish a friendship with the crown prince, but in Latina, There are many other people besides the royal family that we need to be careful of, so we want to cut into the royal family's interests. But in order to do business in the Southern Count's local area, do you really need to give benefits to the other 3 counts? Won't the Southern Count be displeased? That's the hard part about this country. The 4 counts are not exactly on good terms, but they are obliged to cooperate when there is a danger of the balance being upset. I see. I don't really understand, but it sounds like they are maintaining the balance and keeping the country at peace. Well, I'll take care of the negotiations with the royal capital. However, the expansion of the port will be difficult. Even if there is a profit, the Southern Count will not agree easily. So there was even a plan to expand the port? No wonder Gilmers has a hard face. In the Kingdom of Brescia, we used a military port, so there was no problem. But the southern city is a center for maritime trade. If there is no special area to welcome and send off passengers when the castle arrives, there will be chaos. Oh. So it's not about building a port where the castle can dock. If it's just a special area for welcoming and seeing off passengers, that doesn't sound like such an unreasonable request. Does it? Will there be so many ships coming and going that this big port will be chaotic? That depends on how attractive customers find Southern City, but up to 5,000 guests will be staying within a stone's throw of the port. I heard a voice in the background saying, "Wow, this is where Gilmers can show off his skills." But the people who can use luxury liners are basically rich, so they might be too good to catch as customers. I see. So to make them feel good about spending their money, the chaos in the port is out of the question, right? Should we also increase the number of accommodations? The rooms at the castle are comfortable, so I think there are not many customers who choose to stay in the southern city. However, there are more accommodations now because people who want to do business with the castle and those who will board the ship stay in Cagliari beforehand. There are also first-class accommodations in the southern city. You know, we will invite you when the luxury liner docks, so please check. Well, even if he says first class, our facilities will not be outdone. But it's possible that people won't get used to living on the ship for long and will want to stay on land. So it's not a waste to be prepared. I see. So how long will the ship stay? We are thinking of making a few different plans. For now, we're planning to try 5, 10, and 15 days in each port. Everyone was concerned about the length of stay. Personally, I thought 15 days in a port was too long, given the length of the voyage. But in this world, where the transportation network is not well developed, it is possible that 15 days would be considered too short, as people sometimes spend several months traveling without care. That's why we have several plans. It's a devious idea to use customers as guinea pigs to gather information. Still, Camille-san and Gilmer's conversation doesn't seem to stop, but they both seem to be having a good time. This should work well for the regular route to the southern city. Probably. Alessia, Dorothea, and Ilma aren't here, but this situation somehow feels nostalgic. The day after Camille-san and Gilmer's fierce negotiations, we went to the southeastern island in the Japanese-style boat. I was wondering if it would be a good idea to go to the southeastern island with a special permit, but Gilmer's came to the Lotto at just such a time, so I took the opportunity to ask him, and he readily granted my request. The number of small magic ships that can cross the difficult places hasn't increased since I was there, and they have a backlog of requests they can't fulfill, such as transporting the subspecies of saber-tigers that were so conspicuous before. Well, I was bored, and even without the 3 of them, my level had increased overwhelmingly compared to before, and with the help of Ins, Felicia, Rimmer, and Fu-chan, there was no problem. Still, I was reluctant at first to accept the request to provide a tent raft for Guido-san and the others because I didn't have a place to stay, but Gilmer's gave me his stamp of approval with such a confident look on his face that I decided to accept. I wonder what's going on that southeastern island. If it weren't for my Japanese-style boat, it would have been impossible to transport the raft. I learned how to make dashi on this island. It really brings back memories. The carriage was delicious. Claretta-san and Carla-san answered my murmurs. I don't think it's right that both of their comments were about food, but if they were that happy, then I'm happy, too. Speaking of which, Master, don't you think the galette could get through the difficult areas? It would be easy for the galette, but it can't carry cargo, so I don't think it would be a good to reveal a new ship for no reason. Besides, there are a few speed freaks in our current group, so I'd like to avoid doing anything that might damage my heart. Because, you know, if I unleash the galette and the speed freaks go out in the midst of complex obstacles like strong ocean currents and reefs, it's guaranteed to be a big mess. The effect of indestructibility will have the opposite effect, and I can see them challenging it head-on. It's obvious that 3 galette boats arriving at the same time would be very conspicuous. It's not just conspicuous, it's so conspicuous that even on a remote southeastern island with few people, it would be the talk of the southern city after a few days. While I was reminiscing about the past, we passed through the difficult area and were stunned. Wataru, did we make a mistake with our destination? Carla-san asked me with her innocent gaze. No. I'm sure I didn't make a mistake with the location. Even though a lot of time had passed, there was no way I could have made a mistake with this place that I had passed through so many times. If the scene in front of my eyes wasn't a hallucination, then this place, with a few rafts and tents scattered here and there, must have developed. It could even be called a small village. Oh, could it be Wataru? Guido-san, it's been a while. The person who came up to me as I stood there in a daze and called out to me was Guido-san, who had taken care of me in the beginning. Oh, it's been a while. You look surprised. Guido-san looked pleased that we were surprised. I am surprised. Well, couldn't you transport the raft on Guido-san's boat? It must have been dangerous when the monsters came while they were cutting down trees on the island, and it must have been difficult to develop it to this extent. Or rather, I can't help but wonder if it's necessary to develop such a remote place to such an extent. Even if they are tents, there seem to be 10 large buildings and nearly 30 small ones. Yes, we can't carry them, but if we use our wits, we can manage somehow. Well, I wouldn't say it's really using our wits. What do you mean? Guido-san's explanation was quite simple. If they can't carry a large amount of things, why can't they carry a small amount of things? That's what he meant. They found the limit for each of the 4 boats that could reach the southeastern island after transporting passengers and prepared raft parts according to their dimensions and weight. They transported these back and forth to the southeast island each time, adding pieces like a puzzle. They repeated this process. It's like the saying goes, many a little makes a mickle. What's more, the people building it seemed to be apprentices of Master Shipwright Donino-san, whom I introduced, and the labor costs are said to be cheap. But with such a large scale, will it be okay in a storm? That must have been the biggest problem with the tent rafts. Yes, we've had a few storms, and each time, we've had to take them apart and bring them back to land, and some of the rafts have been damaged, but as long as we can get the tents to safety, the other parts are small and replaceable, so we can make do by combining them in any way we can. They've already considered the possibility of breakage. In the case of a jigsaw puzzle, there are certain places where the pieces fit together, but if they're made to fit anywhere, it would certainly be easier to reassemble. It's not that they won't break, but it's okay if they do. In a way, it's a reversal of the usual way of thinking. I was really surprised. Striving for the Luxury Liner, Volume 21 Chapter 5. Chapter 5, Making Money. Making money. While Camille-san was working hard to maintain the regular shipping route, we received permission from the master of the Merchant Guild to visit the southeastern island after a long time. However, the scene I imagined was not there, and it had developed to the point where it could be called a small seaside village. I talked to Guido-san for a while and was amazed at how things had changed. Still, is there really that much demand for all these tents? There are about 30 tents in total, large and small. There aren't always adventurers around, so there doesn't seem to be a need for so many. Oh, the number is still not enough. Is that so? Guido-san and his 3 friends and Barnabas-san are adventurers, right? Considering that a party consists of 6 people, and adding the 3 of them, there is a maximum of about 27 people. Even if you include the bath raft, there seem to be enough people. Could it be that everyone plans to have their own private room? Oh, each party needs a place to store their materials, and there are people who like it here so much that they stay for a long time, so there aren't enough tents. Long-term stays? Even if it wasn't a long-term stay, there were people who stayed for a few days and relaxed. They would drink alcohol, take a bath, and just relax. The only people who could come here were adventurers who had a certain level of skill guaranteed by the Adventurers Guild or the Merchants Guild, so it seemed that human relations on land were quite difficult. With so few people coming here, and even though the living conditions are simple, If there's a place where you can relax and enjoy the silence, it's understandable that you'd want to stay for a long time. And since there's a place where you can earn money, there's almost no risk of running out of money. Still, a place to store materials? Have you started transporting materials as well? If they store the materials here, and when they have accumulated, call a large ship to the nearby area and only use Guido-san and the others' magic ship to go back and forth between the difficult places. They can transport a relatively large amount of materials. Yes, we thought of that and proposed it, but it was rejected. Why? They said that in addition to monsters, there are valuable medicinal herbs to protect. That's why they rejected the method Wataru proposed earlier to transport the rafting materials all at once. So it's an environmental restriction. If they can't collect precious medicinal herbs, the attractiveness of this island will be cut in half. It seems like they're limiting the development of the southeastern island as well. If Wataru were here, I'd ask you to bring a lot of materials for the rafts, but I think that would also be refused. It sounds like they're restricting rapid development, but allowing slow development. It seems like they're telling them to go back to the status quo once that slow development has gotten to a certain point. Well, if you think of it as a protected area, that's probably inevitable. I heard that in the past, they tried to keep large ships waiting outside the dangerous areas, but it seems that the current leaders are excellent people who can choose the long and thin path. Oh, and Gilmaz said it would be okay. But are there any tents where we can stay? Oh, there should be enough for one large tent and two small ones. If the women use one big tent and one small tent, and I use the other small tent, that should be fine. It's a bit sad to be separated from Ins and Felicia, but it wouldn't be bad to have a lot of fun with Rimmer and Pent. I used to live here by myself in a tent, so it might be a bit nostalgic. Then please lend me those 3. How much will it cost? Oh, Wataru gave us the tent raft, and we're making money thanks to Wataru's idea. We don't need any money from you. I have quite a bit of money, so I don't think I want to be treated for free. If I didn't have any money, I would gladly accept the offer. If we take money from Wataru, it won't look good for us, so just accept the offer to be treated. I was still hesitating, but Guido-san pushed me over the edge with the argument of saving face. For a moment, I thought he was the kind of person who would be involved in organized crime. But it seemed better to just accept the offer to be treated. I'm sorry. I'll accept your kind offer. Okay, then, follow me. I'll show you around. Guido-san drove the magic ship, and I followed. Please use these tents. There are 2 small ones on each side. You can connect them to the large raft by pulling, so do as you wish. I see, so you can combine the rafts that are floating separately and use them together to make a bigger one. That's kind of interesting. Thank you very much. Oh, well, I'll be off then. The bath is over there in the tent. There's a staff there, so if you make a reservation, you can use the bath at that time, as long as it's not already taken. You don't need a pick-up and drop-off service, do you? There's a rowboat, too. Thank you very much. We're fine with the pick-up and drop-off service. There's even a staff member who specializes in baths. It seems that Guido-san and the others are doing more than I imagined. Well, the adventurers who come here are wealthy, so it might be something that both the management and the adventurers want, to improve the facilities and raise the prices. Wataru, come here for a moment. What's going on? Since he only called out to me, I asked the women to put their things in the tent first. Well, get in. It's a secret. Guido-san smiles suspiciously. I should probably be careful, but I don't think Guido-san would do anything to me in this situation, and I'm definitely more powerful than him, so I think I'll be fine. With that in mind, I got on the ship, and Guido-san said he was going to move the magic ship a little further away. I don't think it's necessary to go this far, but the beastmen have good hearing. Obviously, he has something to tell me in private. Do you see those rafts with tents floating over there? Looking at where Guido-san was pointing, there were indeed several rafts with tents floating. I didn't notice them because they were far away. Why would they float the tent rafts in such a far away place? There's a beautiful girl waiting in each of the tents over there. You know the rest, right? This old man opened a brothel here? It's hard to say in front of the ladies. But Rimmer on my head and Pent around my neck can hear what Guido-san is saying, right? I have a hard time explaining to Rimmer when he sends me a telepathic message that says, "Beautiful girl, are you making a profit?" It's just so profitable. I can't help it. I can't say this about other people, but men's lust is incredible, isn't it? It's popular with the girls too, you know. They say it's a great place to relax, take a bath, and make a lot of money. Well, it might not be necessary for you, Wataru, who is surrounded by beautiful women, but I thought I'd tell you just in case. Ah, I see. So, the peak fee applies here as well. Adventurers who are in peak physical condition after training hard. I've heard that they tend to get excited after a battle, and since they have a lot of money, they can't resist, even if it's a little expensive. I feel like they're taking advantage of men's weaknesses. If there had been a place like this when I was working on this island, there's a good chance I would have put off buying the lotto for years. I would have been a regular customer. Well, I have Ins and Felicia now, and I'm worried about what Marina-san and the others will think, so it's impossible. Thank you. Well, I don't have the courage to use it in my current situation. Well, I don't have the guts to go to a brothel when I'm with Kira either. But is it okay to have a brothel here? Won't they get caught? Oh, there's no problem because the Merchants Guild and the Adventurers Guild are also involved. Adventurers work harder when they don't have money. In short, they're trying to extort money from the adventurers who make a lot of money on this island. The Merchants Guild and the Adventurers Guild are both very shady. Then, are the people like Guido-san who make a lot of money here okay? I don't think they're a friendly organization that would give special treatment just to Guido-san and his friends. It's okay, but it's also not okay, which is because we make money through certain privileges. We're told to spend money in Southern City. I also bought a rather large house on the advice of the Merchant Guild. I don't spend much time at home, so I feel like I'm losing out, but my family is happy, so I'm satisfied with the decision for now. In principle, there is no reason for people to tell you how to spend your money, but buying a house that will remain an asset is not a bad choice to avoid envy. Apart from that, I can't help but feel that the Merchant Guild is telling him to work here until he dies. They don't want to be in trouble if the number of boats going to the southeastern island decreases. I thanked Guido-san for his consideration, parted with him, and then entered the big tent. It's so nostalgic. Yes, Wataru made the tent raft, so it made our activities on this island much easier. I was really impressed back then. I also learned how cute slime is from Wataru here. When I went inside, Carla-san, Claretta-san, and Marina-san were reminiscing about the old days. I was quite happy because the content was favorable to me. Ah, Master is back. What happened? And Ins. It was nice to be greeted, but I hope she doesn't ask me anything difficult. Well, what should I do? If I keep it a secret, people will suspect me, but if I just tell them, I'll ruin Guido-san's good intentions. Guido-san gave me a warning. He said that while I was away, a place was created where women wouldn't feel very comfortable, so he told me to be careful not to go near it. That was to protect Guido-san's reputation and mine, I think. They came all the way out here? Ins is surprised when she realizes what kind of place this is. That's right, they travel all the way out here. Silence falls over the tent. Yes, it's a bit uncomfortable. Let's just pretend it didn't happen and change the subject. I'm not interested in talking to women about sex shops. For men, they're a place of salvation in a way, but that's not something women need to know about. By the way, this is a really nice tent. It's definitely better quality than the tent I bought before. It's a bit of a forced change of subject, but there was no way around it, and only the tent was what caught my eye. But it really is a nice tent. It seems Guido-san and the others are making a lot of money, as he said. Striving for the Luxury Liner, Volume 21 Chapter 6. Enjoy. Chapter 6, Carlos-san's Request. The southeastern island I visited after a long time had developed, and there were now about 30 tent rafts floating there. Even after I left the island, it continued to develop, and now there were not only bathing rafts but also those related to the sex industry, and a system of extorting money from wealthy adventurers had been perfected. Even fantasy worlds can be harsh, and it makes me a little sad. Speaking of which, what about the food here? Claretta-san asked me as I relaxed and put my things in the big tent. I was a little surprised because I thought this kind of question would come from Carla-san, but it was true. Guido-san hadn't said anything about food either. I thought they usually prepared their own meals, but even when I was on this island, The quality of the food gradually improved. In the current situation where they are trying to squeeze as much money out of adventurers as possible, I can't imagine that they would skimp on the food. This is it. I explained about the brothel, which contains sensitive content, so I felt like it was over and forgot to give the basic explanation. I'll go and ask them. Oh, while I'm there, I'll also make a reservation for the bath. What time would you like? Well, as for food, there's more than enough in the rubber boat, so no problem there, but if we can enjoy it, I'd like to try eating at the local place at least once. It's also a place with fond memories. I don't understand the situation on this island yet, so I'd like to take a bath while it's still light out. I was thinking of such carefree things, but Marina-san seems to be a little wary of this developed island. Wherever people gather, there are always shadows, but this island seems to be okay because access is by permission. But I guess we should always be on guard, especially since the women are all beautiful. As long as there are men around, there is no room for carelessness, even in a safe place. Okay, I'll go now. The other women seemed to agree, so I decided to go and make a reservation for a bath before nightfall. What's up, Kala-san? I'll go with you, Wataru. I called Kala-san, who had somehow followed me, and she replied with a happy voice. I know that she's not just my bodyguard or that she wants to be with me, but that she wants to check out the food herself. I take Kala-san aboard and go to the bath raft first. Oh, you're a new face. Are you making a reservation? When we arrived at the bath raft, a slightly older woman greeted us. I wonder if she's an aunt or a grandma there. Let's just say she's an older sister for now. Yes, this is my first time. So could you teach me a lot about it? Okay. After being taught a lot by the older sister, I found out that the bathing system was quite different. The woman was a mage and a former adventurer who had retired from adventuring due to her age, but she could still use magic, so she came to work as a bath attendant to earn money. In this world, the higher your level, the slower you age. She said she was an experienced adventurer herself, so she could be quite old. Well, that aside, let's talk about the bathing system. The big bath in the big tent costs 3 silver coins, the small private bath costs 1 silver coin, and the big bath can be reheated for 1 silver coin or 5 large copper coins. The price is the same regardless of the number of people, so if you go in with a group, the large bath will be a little cheaper, but it's still a terrible rip-off. Well, it seems that the adventurers who come here make a lot of money, so they can rent out the large baths for private use or bathe with pretty girls. I make a lot of money too, so I've rented a big bath and a private bath. I also asked about food. It seems that you can cook your own food or buy simple food, but it's expensive. Also, the food is mostly brought in from the southern city, and it doesn't seem to be very elaborate, so it seems that the main thing is drinking alcohol rather than eating. Kala-san looks very dejected. From what I've heard, it doesn't seem like you can eat the local specialties here, and our own instant food would definitely be tastier. As for alcohol, it seems like you can buy whatever you want in the southern city, so if it's not new, our own alcohol will probably taste better. Well, we've gathered some information, so let's go back to the others. Wataru. When we returned to the large tent on the Japanese-style boat, Kala-san spoke to me with a serious look on her face. In a situation like this, it's one of the templates to think that it might be an important consultation or a confession, even if it's a little off, but I've spent a certain amount of time with Kala-san, so I know it's different. 9 times out of 10, it's about food. Is something wrong? Even though I know, I answered just in case. Since we're here, I want to eat Wataru's food. That's right. By my food, you mean the food I cook, not the food on luxury liners or ferries? Yes. Perhaps because she had come to a place as unusual as a rafting village, Kala-san had expected to be able to eat unusual and delicious food. However, her expectations were dashed, and she looked for something else to replace it. It's called compensatory behavior. My old tent raft and my old cooking. Since I got the ferry and the luxury liner, I haven't had much chance to cook for myself, but cooking might be fun once in a while. Compared to the last time I was on the island, the difference in ingredients, spices, and cooking utensils is like night and day, so I think it would be fun to show off my manly camping cooking. The Ferry magazine featured camping and camping food. It would be fun to recreate some of the dishes from those. Okay, I'll make you some delicious food. Yes, thank you, Wataru. Kala-san is so cute when she's beaming with joy. and her ears are perked up. "Let's do our best." "Marina, Claretta, help me." As soon as she returned to the tent, Carla-san called the two of them and started getting her equipment on. "Carla, what's going on?" "Wataru's going to make us dinner, so we're going to get the ingredients." Carla-san happily answers Claretta-san's questions. "That's fine, but I've never heard of it either, so I can't answer Claretta-san and Marina-san's questioning looks." We were carried away by Carla-san's momentum, and preparations began. I decided to take the three of them to land in a Japanese-style boat. There's also bath time, so please don't be late." "Don't worry, we're just exploring the area around here, so it won't take long." Marina-san's calm reply was reassuring. "Please." "Oh, it's not a must, but if you can, could you bring back some of that cedar wood cut into round planks? 2 to 3 centimeters thick should do the trick." I'd been reading a camping magazine and had been curious about wood plank grilling, a cooking method where you steam the ingredients on a whole piece of wood, and I'd been curious about it since I saw it in the magazine. It's a good opportunity, so I want to try it. I'll look for some. I'm going out for a while. I see the three of them off and return to the big tent. "Master, it seems like Carla has very high expectations for you, but what are you going to do?" "What am I going to do? I'll do some research, so Ins and Felicia, you're free to do whatever you want." "Oh, just check if Marina-san and the others have returned." I couldn't answer In's question clearly, so I decided to look for the answer in a book. Everything had happened so suddenly that it was a miracle that I remembered the wooden barbecue. I asked Ins and Felicia to keep watch and also ask Remo and Pen to play with them, and then I go into the big tent. I summon the rubber boat, where I have piled the magazines I have finished reading, and dig out the camping magazines. I flip through the pages and what jumps out at me is curry. Curry. Although curry is a standard camp cooking dish, it is also a popular menu item on ferries and luxury liners. Although the curry eaten at the camp is a little different, it is doubtful that it will satisfy Carla-san, who is looking for unusual dishes. "Oh, it's a page about wooden plank grills. I'll put a note on it in case I need it later." There are a surprising number of recipes that use a hot sandwich maker. They look really good. There are electric hot sandwich makers on the luxury liner, but I don't think we can use them on a camping trip. But it looks like we can make hot sandwiches in this world, so I'll ask Camille-san when we get back to the southern city. While I'm at it, I'll also ask for a Dutch oven. It looks like a standard camping item, and there are lots of recipes for it. At first, the dishes I can make will depend on what ingredients Marina-san and the others bring back. I'll make the fried chicken and chicken soup that are the staples of this island. Since I don't have any chicken bones, I'll have to use instant dashi stock. But what else should I make? The wood-burning grill needs fire, so I guess I'll just have to use a barbecue. In that case, I'll have to prepare a grill set, and, oh, foil roasting would be fun, too. I'll use aluminum foil on the wood-burning grill, and if I prepare the foil roast in advance, all I have to do is cook it afterward. If Marina-san and the others catch a lot of fish, we can reduce the foil roast and save it for next time. I don't have much time today, so I think that's about it. I think I'll be going to the southeastern islands for a while, so I'll make preparations and enjoy camping while I'm there. So I'm going to start making preparations right away. I'll ask Felicia to help me with the cooking, and I'll ask Ins to prepare the barbecue in the space in front of the big tent. What should I make for the foil roasted ingredients? Should I make the usual salmon and mushrooms? Or should I make everything from fish and meat to shellfish and vegetables without limiting it to salmon? Come to think of it, you can also grill whole apples in foil. I'm sure I've seen that in a camping magazine. I'm sure I have sugar and butter, and I remember getting cinnamon from the spice section of the luxury liner kitchen. This delicious and fun camping dessert will win the hearts of the ladies. Striving for the luxury liner, Volume 21 Chapter 7. Chapter 7, Bath. It's been a while since I've been to the southeastern island. Although it has developed, the food is just average, and it seems that the main thing is alcohol, so at Carla-san's request, I decided to cook for the first time in a while. The first item on the menu was a foil grill dish. I prepared a cooking method called wood plank grill, which, just from the name, sounds like something you'd bite into, and I also thought about how the girls would like it, so I prepared a whole foil grilled apple, which I'm sure will be a hit. There's also soup and fried chicken. Master, Marina, and the others have returned. I see. I'll go greet them. Felicia, I'm sorry to ask you to wrap this up as well. Of course. Ins tells me Marina-san and the others have returned, so I leave the foil I was wrapping in Felicia's hands and get on the Japanese-style boat. On the way, Rima jumped on my head. I was quietly happy that he was following me, even though I was only going to be gone for a short while and then come back. I looked around and saw Pent, who had grown to about 2 meters in length, swimming past the Japanese-style boat. It seems that he was following me by swimming. Come to think of it, Pent was a sea serpent. I'd forgotten about it because it had recently taken up a position around my neck. While I was thinking about it, I set off in the Japanese-style boat and headed for the shore, trying to match Pent's pace. Everyone, thank you for your hard work. Are you all injured? I remember greeting them like this before. Even though Alessia-san, Dorothea-san, and Ilma-san are not here, it still feels nostalgic somehow. It's okay. Thanks for the welcome. Wataru, I caught a lot. Marina-san replies calmly to my words, and then Carla-san shows me her catch with a big smile. Behind her, Claretta-san looks a little apologetic, probably because she knows I'm going to have to cook a lot of this. Even though they only spent 2 or 3 hours hunting, there is a lot of food laid out. I guess this is what happens when you put all your effort into gathering food without worrying about its value. All of the ingredients are ones that Carla-san used to like to eat, and there's not a single ingredient or catch that she brought back to sell to the Adventurers Guild or Merchants Guild. What's more, the birds and animals that needed to be butchered have already been butchered. Everything is ready. There are also the cedar logs I asked for. I think I can make the wood plank grill with these. Marina and the others put their catch into the Japanese-style boat, and we return to the tent raft. Please take this, everyone. This is really nostalgic. Marina-san and the others smiled at the towels I had prepared. In the old days, I used to rack my brains and try my best to do things to make everyone happy, even if it was just a little. There are many things that remind me of my original intentions when I came to this island. Thanks to my ship summoning skill, I'm able to maintain a comfortable lifestyle, but I have to remember those original intentions. Well, my original intentions when I fell into this world were to keep myself safe and to meet women, so that hasn't changed. It's a little pathetic, but I guess that's just the way I am. I leave Marina-san and the others, who are enjoying the hot towels, in the tent and go back to preparing the grill. I wonder if Marina-san and the others are wiping themselves with the hot towels right now. I really miss that kind of excitement. Master, your face is so lewd. In says terrible things to me when I imagine such things, but I can't deny it, so I just let it go. Now, first of all, let's season the poultry that Carla-san likes. I used to have a lot of trouble with seasoning, but now I have a strong ally. Cooking sake, mirin, soy sauce, garlic, and ginger are the best seasonings for fried chicken, in my opinion. I accept all objections, though. My personal preference is to use a lot of garlic. But since everyone else is a woman, let's use less garlic and increase the ginger a little. Felicia, if there are any ingredients that Marina-san and the others brought that would go well with foil grilling, wrap them in foil. Got it. I understand. I know I'm giving instructions myself, but it looks like we'll be able to make a lot of foil grilled food. Well, if there's anything left over, I can just store it in the rubber boat. Next up, the wood plank grill. I don't know why, but I can't stop myself from saying wood plank grill over and over again. It's weird. Well, that aside, let's get ready for the wood plank grill. I wash the sliced cedar that Marina-san and the others brought over with clean water. Apparently, you can just soak the slices in water afterward, but it's also said that soaking them in liquor adds the flavor of the liquor to the scent of the cedar, making it delicious. This time, I'm going to try both. There are 3 slices, so I figure I only need 1 for the liquor. I'll use white wine. And then there's the rice, but I think I'll make grilled rice balls. I secretly like to make grilled rice balls myself. Wataru, I'll help you. What should I do? Just as I thought that Claretta-san offered to help. There's no need to think about whether it would be more fun to make your own rice balls or rice balls made by Claretta-san. Then, can you make us some rice balls? Okay. Claretta-san nodded with a smile. It's been a while since I cooked with Claretta-san. It seems there were some pleasures I forgot when I started earning money and buying a ship, and things became more convenient. Even if we go back to the luxury liner, If I can find time to cook with everyone once in a while, it might make me happier. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. The preparations for the fun and friendly barbecue are over, and all that's left to do is wait for the food to cook. But there's one more thing to do before that. That's right, it's time for a bath. We hadn't done much exercise, but I wanted Marina-san and the others who had gone out to get the ingredients to enjoy the barbecue in a refreshed state. Well, the reason I mentioned the bath earlier was for another reason. With the girls on the Japanese-style boat, we head for the bath raft. Oh, it's about time. The preparations are finished, so you can go in now. When we arrive at the bath raft, the lady in charge of the bath tells us that everything is ready. Thank you, Wataru. Please pick us up later. Yes, there's plenty of time, so please take your time. Marina-san and the others get off the Japanese-style boat with Ins and Felicia. They're having a great time, squealing with delight. I want to go with them. After parting with the girls, I go over to the small raft I've rented next to them. When I enter the tent with Rimmer and Pent, I see a wooden bath of a nostalgic size. It seems that the size is based on the one I made. The difference is that it doesn't have the facilities to heat stones or boil water. When I was there, it was unthinkable to hire a mage for the bath, but if you can hire a mage, this seems easier to use. You can use the raft and the bath more, and you can relax without worrying about fire management. While I was admiring it, Rimmer, who was above my head, jumped into the tub. I lost the chance to take the first bath. There was nothing I could do, so I put Pent, who was around my neck, into the bath as well. It's a little late to say this, but Pent is okay in hot water, right? I knew he was okay in warm water to a certain extent because he had been in the heated pool on the luxury liner, but I was surprised to find him in the bath with me after he had learned to shrink his body. I convinced myself that it was a fantasy because it was a monster from the sea, but at the same time, I was surprised by the versatility of the word fantasy. The word fantasy can be used to explain most things. I took off my clothes and got into the bathtub, feeling warm and fuzzy as I watched Trimmer and Pent playing in the hot water. Before getting into the bath, I let go of the tent cloth on the side facing the open sea. On the side facing the open sea, there is no tent raft in the way, so you can see the whole view. Since it's a raft bath, the distance to the sea is very close. Is that what they mean by ocean view or ocean front? It feels a little different because you're floating on the sea, but it's good that the view is nice. It looks like the sun will be setting soon, and the sky will be a little darker. If you relax, you might be able to see the sunset from the tub. I pour some hot water over myself and get into the bath, holding Rimmer and Pent so they don't spill out. Yawa. The bath is a little hot, but it feels good and makes me let out a cry of pleasure. They say that taking a bath is like washing away your troubles, and I don't think they're wrong. I lean my weight against the tub and relax. After a while, Rimmer and Pent climb onto my shoulders and head. After resting for a while, they go back into the water. I'm being used as a resting place, but that's not so bad. When I look outside, the sky is turning red. Guido-san said the baths were popular, and I can see why. Even for someone like me, who takes baths as part of my daily life and also enjoys them as a form of entertainment at hot springs and spas, I thought the baths here were wonderful. On the other hand, I think people from other parts of the world who don't take baths very often would be shocked. Well, there are people who can't get used to soaking in hot water and avoiding it. But once you get used to it, you're sure to be hooked. Also, it seems that adventurers bring alcohol and slightly naughty girls into the bath. How could that not be fun? I'm jealous. Whoa, it seems I've been in the bath for a long time, and my blood is starting to boil a little. I can't keep the girls waiting, so I wash up and get out of the bath. I waited a short distance away from the raft where the girls were taking a bath, and then the girls came out of the tent. They were a group of beautiful women in t-shirts and shorts, all fresh from the bath. I should have brought my camera. I pulled the Japanese-style boat up to the raft and greeted the group of beautiful girls. After chatting about how good it felt and how much fun it was, we went back to our tent, and then I summoned the rubber boat. Everyone, please help yourselves. Inside the rubber boat were different kinds of drinks that were ice cold. There was milk, coffee milk, carbonated drinks, beer, and chuhai, shotcha highball. There was a wide variety to choose from. The cheers of the girls echoed around the tent. There's nothing like a cold drink after a hot bath. I'm a milk coffee drinker, by the way. And then there's the barbecue we've all been waiting for. How does the wood grill taste? Striving for the luxury liner. Volume 21 Chapter 8. Enjoy. Chapter 8. Fun barbecue. We had finished preparing for the barbecue on the southeastern island and decided to take a raft bath first. The raft bath had become more sophisticated than I had originally thought, thanks to the magician we had hired, and we were able to enjoy the hot water and the boundless nature. Phew, that felt really good. I express my thoughts as I swallow a cold drink. Gulping down a drink after a bath is definitely one of the best ways to enjoy a drink, and it's definitely in the top 3. The girls seem to agree, and I get a cheerful response. As we walked out of the tent for the barbecue, the sea breeze blew through and brought a pleasant coolness to our flushed post-bath bodies. But it was a bit disappointing that it was the sea breeze. By the time the barbecue was over, our bodies would probably be sticky again. You could say that this is a disadvantage of being too close to the sea, but I think there are advantages, such as the fact that I was able to have a good chat with Rimmer and Pent, and the girls looked great after their bath, and the intimacy is greater than on a luxury liner, which is too comfortable and makes you feel a little distant. I also saw Marina-san, Carla-san, and Claretta-san after their bath for the first time in a while. Now, the main event, the barbecue, is about to begin. Huh? That place looks like a restaurant and bar. It's pretty lively. The voices of people making noise outside the tent caught my attention. Claretta-san seemed to have noticed as well, looking in the same direction. Even though there was quite a distance between us, it was just loud enough to tell that things were pretty lively inside the tent raft. The sun has set, and it's dark now, so I guess it's just a big party to help them recover from the fatigue of their quest. I can hear the women having fun, and if I were alone, I'd probably try to join in somehow. Well, I'm in a harem situation right now, so I'm not jealous. I'm not going to worry about the fact that 2 of the 5 women were bought with money, and the other 3 have no relationship with me at all. Wataru, shall we start preparing? Yes, I'll prepare the fried chicken, so Claretta-san, please check the taste of the soup. The others, please prepare the fire. Just when I was about to worry about something unnecessary and get gloomy, Claretta-san spoke to me at just the right moment. There's no need to get gloomy just because of my own thoughts, so I'll change my mood and get ready to finish. As for the fried chicken, the spices and cooking utensils are different from the old days. I've also got a thermometer to measure the temperature of the oil on the portable stove on the houseboat and a draining net, so I've got the heat control problem covered. I've even got the famous brand of fried chicken flour, so my victory is assured. I've also mastered the secret technique of double frying. I light the stove and heat the oil, then put the fried chicken powder in a plastic bag and add the seasoned chicken. I shake the bag to evenly coat the meat with the powder. Master, the fire is ready. I got a report from Inns that the charcoal is ready. Since a foil grill takes a little longer to cook, I'll start with that first. Oh, I'll also have to start cooking the wood plank grill. Inns, Felicia, start cooking the foil first. Oh, leave about the space of 2 cedar planks. Understood. What? You're going to put the ingredients directly on the cedar planks? While I was giving instructions to Inns and Felicia and preparing the wood plank grill, Claretta-san called out to me in surprise. I thought about showing her a magazine on camp cooking but decided to explain it myself to increase my popularity. I see. The aroma of the cedar wood permeates the ingredients, and the difference between the water and wine used to soak the ingredients is also interesting. It's nice to have Claretta-san's admiring eyes on me. I think I'll seal the camping food magazine away where Claretta-san can't see it. I place the chicken, salmon, onions, and various other ingredients on the cedar plank, wrap it in aluminum foil to form a dome and place it on the grill. The grill is all silver. Visually, the foil grilled food alone is a bit weak. I'll think about it more next time. Oops. I'll have to finish the fried chicken soon. I check the oil temperature, take the chicken out of the plastic bag, and place it in the oil. The sound of sizzling and crackling spreads. Oh, Carla-san has come over and is staring at the pan. If I'm not careful, the fried chicken will be gone before I can deep fry it a second time. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Well then, let's toast to the first trip to the Southeast Island in a long time. Cheers. The barbecue is ready, and under a sky full of stars, we make a toast. Phew! I gulped down a glass of ice-cold beer and let out a big sigh. This is the best moment. Let's start with the fried chicken. Despite Carla-san's tearful begging, I managed to deep fry the chicken twice. Delicious. Before I could even eat it, Carla-san had stuffed the fried chicken into her mouth and was smiling from ear to ear. The deliciousness was guaranteed, but it was important to check for myself. When I bit into the fried chicken, I felt a crispy texture, followed by the slightly firm but elastic texture of the wild bird. When I chewed it, I could taste the rich flavor of the bird, as well as the flavors of the soy sauce, garlic, and ginger, which were just as strong. It was truly the taste of happiness. It would be a shame to wash away this taste, but I drink the beer anyway. The endless loop is complete. Foo-fa-foo. The ladies were also enchanted by my fried chicken, and the pile of fried chicken got smaller and smaller. Shall we try the soup now? Yes, it's delicious. The granulated chicken bones, wakame seaweed, and garlic. It can't possibly be bad. But it's not a particularly impressive or moving flavor. But it's just the right flavor for an outdoor setting like this. Oh, there are also rice balls made by Claretta. You can eat them as they are, but please also try the grilled rice balls. There is soy sauce and miso sauce, so please try them as you like. I'll try the soy sauce first. No, since Claretta-san made the rice balls for us, I think I'll have them as they are first. Or rather, I'll have the regular rice balls while they're being grilled. When the girls saw what I was doing, they also quickly started making their own grilled rice balls. Of course, Carla-san made 2. And then 4. As you would expect from Carla-san, she doesn't doubt her own stomach for a second. Well, that's okay, there are plenty of rice balls. Now it's time to check out the taste of the wood plank grill I've been looking forward to. First, I'll try the one I soaked in water. Wataru. Let me try some as well. Of course. As I reached for the cedar plank wrapped in aluminum foil, Claretta-san came over with a curious look on her face. I guess this is the secret to being a popular cook. I'll be cooking from now on. As I peeled off the aluminum foil with my determination, the aroma of the ingredients and the aroma of the cedar spread. I used a knife and fork to cut up the chicken, salmon, and tomatoes and handed them to Claretta-san. The aroma is good. It's almost like smoked meat. As for the taste, Wataru, isn't this the same meat you used for the fried chicken? Huh? Oh, yes, that's right. Even though the cooking method is different, it's like a completely different kind of meat. It has a mild woody aroma, and the seasoning is simple, just salt and herbs, but the meat is tender and full of rich flavor. It's just steamed and grilled over cedar wood, but it's like a completely different thing. And the vegetables. Wataru, some for me too. Wataru, I want to try some as well. Master, please give me some. Master, please give me some. I want to eat it. The food is requested one by one as if inspired by Claretta-san's comment. The wood plank grill is amazing. Even the reserved Felicia seems interested. When I served it to everyone, I had no food left for myself. Oh well, I'll just have to use the wood plank grill again. I quickly placed the ingredients on the cedar plank and put it back on the grill. Okay, I'll try the one soaked in white wine. As I peel off the aluminum foil, the wine and cedar aromas spread out. Everyone's eyes are on me. It looks like this is the second time I've eaten the white wine version. I cut up the white wine version and served it to the girls, and it was time for the second round. Well, it's pretty well received, and the girls, Rimu, Pent, and Fu-chan, are all smiling, so I'm satisfied too. Now, I'm going to turn the grilled rice balls over and brush them with the sauce. Until the grilled rice balls and the barbecue are ready, I'll enjoy the foil grilled snacks with a beer. Felicia, can you tell which one has which filling? Well, come to think of it, we just lined them up at random without thinking about the contents. I'm sorry, Master, I forgot to mark them. Well, that's okay. It's fun to do it like a lottery. Come to think of it, in the cooking manga where I first learned about foil grilled food, they also enjoyed it like a lottery. Mine was just a mistake, not a deliberate attempt. But I'm going to pretend it was a sign of respect for this cooking savvy uncle and enjoy it. I select one of the foil wrapped dishes from the grill and, a little excited, tear open the aluminum foil. Oh, that's not the one I made. It's a foil wrapped dish of potatoes, mushrooms and cheese. I would have preferred to start with fish or meat, but this isn't bad either. When I pierced it with a fork, the melted cheese stuck to the potatoes and mushrooms, and when I took a bite, the hot, gooey mixture filled my mouth with deliciousness and the aroma of white wine. So they used white wine instead of sake. All the foil-baked dishes I've made have used sake, but white wine isn't bad either. Mine is salmon. It looks delicious. Pork and onions. Is that white fish? It's fun not knowing what kind of fish it is until you eat it. It's a poultry. Oh, this is the one I made. Would you like to try it, Master? It looks like there are only carrots in it, doesn't it? How rude. I also added butter. Carrots and butter. That's delicious in their own way, but Ins probably thinks it's a failure. She drew a failure of her own making, so it's what you would call getting what you deserve. You should eat what you drew yourself. Ins looks dissatisfied. We laugh at her. It's a silly thing, but I think it's a happy thing that we can laugh at something so simple. Barbecues are fun. Striving for the Luxury Liner, Volume 21 Chapter 9. Chapter 9. Dare to stand out. It's been a while since we've been to the southeastern island, and since the food-related activities don't look too promising, we decided to enjoy our own barbecue, with nostalgic soups and carriage and a new menu of foil and wooden plank grills and grilled rice balls. It's a truism that barbecue is a lot of fun. Marina, what are we going to do with this kid? Well, last night's barbecue was a lot of fun. It was an event that made me feel confident that I had become a Ryuju T/N. Ryuju is a combination of the English word real, Japanese, Ryu, and the Japanese word Jujutsu, which translates to something like contented and abundant. The English equivalent would be normies. There were many events, such as a game to choose the most luxurious stuffing for the foil grill and vice versa, and a competition to see who could grill the most beautiful grilled rice balls. I also got to try the wood plank grill for the second time. The method of grilling on a cedar plank, which changes the atmosphere of the food, is a visually pleasing and enjoyable way to grill, and no wonder it is so popular at barbecues. No, don't get violent. Gua.jia.guan. No, I can't escape reality because I'm worried about the saber-toothed tiger in front of me, being held back by Carla-san's big shield and squealing sadly. That's the saber-toothed tiger-like monster that Alessia-san and the others captured and brought to the southern city a long time ago, isn't it? And it's a rare subspecies. Only trustworthy and powerful people are allowed to enter the island, which is an unexplored region where precious plants and strong, rare monsters abound. Even on such a dangerous island, a saber-toothed tiger that seemed to be of high rank attacked us, and for some reason, Carla-san made good use of her shield. I can only wonder. Well, this child is not part of the request this time, so there is no need to kill it. Just knock it out. Okay. Good night. Marina-san instructed Carla-san to stun the saber-toothed tiger-like monster. It sounded very heavy and dull, but it was probably just stunned. No problem. Then let's continue. Wataru, our destination is almost here. Can you keep up? Yes. Physically, I'm fine. Mentally, I want to go home already, but with such thoughts in my mind, I chase after Marina-san, who is ahead of me. How did this happen? Oh yes, it all started with my unintentional comment. The barbecue the day before had been a lot of fun, and sleeping in the tent by myself, albeit with Rimu and Pent, was also a lot of fun. So I was very excited to wake up in the morning and cook and eat a simple camping breakfast with Claretta-san. Bacon, fried eggs, bread, soup, and sausage. I was in a good mood, but I made an uncharacteristic mistake. During our conversation, I mentioned the place where they found Rimu, and they told me that there was a nice place nearby. It would be fun to have lunch at such a beautiful place. Rimu might even enjoy it. The word lunchbox was enough to make Carla-san jump on board, and the decision was made to have a dangerous picnic in the forest. As a person who needs to avoid danger, this was a tragic mistake. Unless there is a purpose or it is safe, a picnic in a dangerous forest is. Well, I am convinced that it is Rimu's homecoming, but I regret it. Oh, it's near here. Yes, I think I found Rimu-chan on a fallen tree in this area. Marina-san stopped at a slightly widened spot on the animal trail. There was nothing remarkable about it, but Claretta-san agreed with her, so she must have been right. You see, Rimu, this is where Rimu met Alessia and the others and eventually joined me. I put Rimu, who was perched on my head, in my hands and urged him to look at the view. You came back, eh? What? I vaguely suspected it, but Rimu is not really interested in that. I'm a little touched, though. It's hard not to be impressed by the fact that Rimu lived here, even if only for a short time. Let's go then. But it's just a small, spacey animal trail, so the excitement doesn't last long. Let's go. Carla-san strongly agrees with my words. I guess she is looking forward to it because we are planning to have lunch at our next destination. Wow, it really is a beautiful place, isn't it? The place Marina-san and the others took me to was a very beautiful and charming place with a small flower garden and a small spring. It looks like it would be a good place for a candy house or something. Rimmer, what's wrong? Rimmer, like this place. Rimmer knows this place. Maybe Rimmer knows this place? Yeah, Rimmer is bouncing on my head and is in a good mood. I see. Was that place before not the place where Rimmer lived? Maybe he met Alessia-san and the others while walking or wandering around? If so, Rimmer's reaction to the place we just visited was natural. I put the excited Rimmer down in the flower garden and started playing with him, and he jumped up and down. Yes, Rimmer and a flower garden are wonderful sights. I have to take a picture. Pent, perhaps attracted by Rimmer's excited appearance, smoothly leaves me and joins Rimmer. He is cute, too. After taking the pictures, I let them go for a while. Wataru. What's wrong, Carla-san? While I was taking pictures, Carla-san called out to me, food. The picnic lunch was ready at the tip of Carla-san's finger. It seemed like I had been taking pictures for quite a while. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. Shall we eat? We quickly sat down on the picnic blanket and announced the start of lunch. Sandwiches, rice balls, fried chicken, sausages, egg rolls, bread, rice, Japanese and Western food, all in one big lunchbox. They all looked delicious. Well, I didn't have much time, so the ingredients are ready-made. Phew, I'm used to eating this kind of food, but it's different when you eat it in a place like this. And the thrill of eating in a place like this is different, too, because sometimes monsters, perhaps attracted by the smell, would attack us. I used to carry portable food on my adventures, but now I regret that I should have brought a good meal, even if it had to be carried in my luggage. Yes, Claretta-san agrees with a smile. Claretta-san loves to cook and eat, right? And Carla-san, who also loves to eat, agrees emphatically. Of course, we've been taking it a little too easy. We have to go out and look for something to catch, otherwise, we won't be able to get back before the end of the day. At such a leisurely moment, Marina-san mumbles something outrageous. I don't want to stay in the field, you know. That's right. Let's hurry. Yes. Ins, Felicia, take care of Wataru. The three of them, Marina-san, Carla-san, and Claretta-san, quickly disappeared deep into the forest. It was a little sad to see the number of people in the group decrease, but with Ins and Felicia with me, there was almost no danger to myself, so I guess I would be okay. Since we've been working so hard to improve our skills against the sea monsters, it seems that we've become so strong that we're no match for even the fiercest monsters on the island. Of course, I'm just a beginner, so accidents can happen. But I can summon a boat to protect me so I can be sure of my safety. So let's just relax until Marina-san and the others return. Felicia smiling in a field of flowers. I would say that a normal elf would look better in a field of flowers, but Felicia, the dark elf, isn't bad either. Or rather, there's a slight difference that makes her really good. This is a good find because I always thought dark elves looked better in grasslands. Ins is, well, normal. She is a beautiful woman, so she looks good in a flower garden, but she has a different vibe, maybe because she is a tiger beastman. It is not because of a gap or something but because my image of Ins does not connect her with a flower garden. Well, after a short break, I'm going to play with Rimmer and Pent in the flower garden. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. The following day, having set foot in the forest of the southeastern island, we are returning to the southern city. On the front of the Japanese-style boat, we carry a huge golden deer with large, magnificent antlers, as if to show off. Since we are reenacting the time of the saber-toothed tiger monster subspecies, the harbor will luckily be in an uproar. I know that much. I even turned it down once. I said there was no need to make a fuss even now, but this is what the master of the Merchants Guild and Camille-san have asked me to do. The huge deer we're carrying is a monster, of course, and a valuable one at that. It has golden fur and horns with precious medicinal properties. It's a monster that's nothing but a treasure, whether you stuff it, take its fur, make medicine out of its horns, or eat its meat. It's a pretty strong monster, and even though it's a deer, it's much stronger than a subspecies of saber-toothed tiger, and it's also a nasty monster that's fast on its feet. It seems that this time, too, the request was only possible because Marina-san and the others had improved their level so much compared to before. The reason for entering the harbor and showing off such a valuable monster, even though we know it's going to cause a lot of trouble, seems to be a countermeasure against the Southern Lord. Because it's conspicuous, it's the subject of rumors, and because it's a valuable monster, the rumors reach the Southern Lord. In addition to the various uses of the valuable monster, the fact that it will attract a lot of attention in the Southern City will certainly whet the Southern Lord's appetite. The Guild Master of the Merchants Guild says they will surely receive orders. However, the Guild Master has already received another order. I'm not saying it's imaginary, but the Guild Master can decide whatever he wants. And that's why there are negotiations between the Southern Lord and the Guild Master. It seems that he is trying to gain an advantageous position by including the story of the luxury liner's regular route in the negotiations. Well, there is little chance of the country refusing to allow a luxury liner to dock, so I thought there was no need to cooperate to that extent. But Camille-san was also keen on this story, so I decided to cooperate. According to Camille-san, the more authority the nobles have, the harder the negotiations and interference will be later on, and I can't help but agree. There was a civil war over this a while back. Well, I'll leave the hard stuff to Camille-san and the others and go find a blacksmith who can make a hot sandwich maker. Well, I'll have Camille-san or the Guild Master introduce me to that blacksmith. Next time, it'll be a hot sandwich party in the camp. Striving for the Luxury Liner, Volume 21 Chapter 10. Enjoy. Chapter 10. Bad Attitude. We visited what looked like Rimu's birthplace in the southeastern island forest and had lunch there. Meanwhile, Marina-san and the others killed the prey requested by the Guild Master of the Merchants Guild, and then we went back to the Southern City in the Japanese-style boat to show off our catch. When we entered the harbor of Southern City, we could hear the whole harbor buzzing with activity. I think it was because of the giant golden deer at the front of the Japanese-style boat, which had the presence of a superstar. When I delivered the previous saber-toothed tiger subspecies, I didn't think about standing out, so I rushed to deliver it. This time, standing out was part of the request, so I took my time sailing the boat. Of course, the golden deer attracts the most attention, followed by the beautiful women. Finally, there's me in the back steering the boat, but the quality of the looks is so bad that I want to go home. The first two probably contain a lot of surprise and admiration, but the looks I get are clouded with desire. Before, there was a merchant who came and pressured me to sell the Japanese-style boat after it attracted attention, and I ended up being taken to court. Now, I could handle it, so I was relaxed. But it was still not a pleasant feeling. I slowly moved the boat forward and stopped it at the dock. Sell me that golden deer. No, if you want to sell it, you'll have to sell it to me. I'll pay you whatever you have. We are a large trading company. We can guarantee you a price that will meet your expectations. Because we were traveling slowly, by the time we docked, the merchants had gathered and were offering to buy it. It was like a battlefield called a bargain. What was surprising was that the rough-looking guys who were watching from a distance didn't get involved. I thought they were coming to pick a fight. Oh, there are adventurers on board who must have hunted this monster level of prey, so even the most professional criminals would hesitate to touch them. The current Marina-san and the others are adventurers who could even surpass the S rank. Mister, is this ship yours? We'll buy it from you for a high price. If you're here to discuss a purchase, I can help you. If you don't want to sell your ship, we can make a contract for you to work exclusively for us. Wow, this is getting out of hand. I hope they come soon because this is going to get ugly. Excuse me, but please move. This is what I ordered. It seems that the person I was waiting for has arrived at a very inconvenient time. It's a timing that makes you suspect that he appeared on purpose. The Merchants Guild employee clears the way, and the guild master walks through with a big smile on his face. He looks so smug as if he's setting an example. The merchants who had gathered now swarmed around the guild master. Ah, Camille-san is a bit far away. It looks like she's avoided getting caught up in the commotion. The Merchants Guild employee pulls up in a wagon and tries to touch the golden deer, so I hastily give them permission to board. I guess they were instructed to carry it, but I wish they had asked before touching it. The giant golden deer is placed on the wagon. Wataru, let's go. The guild master calls to me at the top of his voice. It seems that I have to go with him as well. Please don't call my name in front of so many people. I'm already conspicuous enough, but it's still bad for my heart. Master, Felicia, and I will stay here. In says she'll stay and then looks around. I see, she'll be guarding the Japanese-style boat. There are also merchants and some rough-looking people, so if we leave the boat carelessly, it'll be troublesome. There's a barrier, so it's not easy to steal, but if they touch it, they'll be denied boarding, and it'll be obvious that the Japanese-style boat has special functions. That would be inconvenient. But I'm not worried about Ins and Felicia, who stay behind. If they're on the Japanese-style boat, they're pretty safe from harm, and they're both as strong as Marina-san and the others, so even without the barrier, they won't lose to the people in the area. To be honest, they'll have plenty of time. Yes, I'm sorry, but could you take care of things for me? If anyone tries to mess with you, don't hold back. I make sure I have a loud voice around, just in case. If something happens and there's a problem, I'll use the luxury liner as a hostage and complain to the Southern Count, or rather the king of this country. I'm sure I can win the case in most cases. Understood. I'll make everyone who approaches without permission pay for it. In seems to be a good actress. She strikes a very dramatic pose and looks like she's having a lot of fun. Felicia looks a bit embarrassed. I'm sorry about that. I leave the Japanese-style boat to Ins and Felicia and follow the guildmaster. Marina-san and Claretta-san are on either side of me, and Carla-san is behind me, so I feel completely at ease. We go to the Merchants Guild in a small procession and are led into the guildmaster's room. Wataru. Well done, that was great. As soon as I entered the room, the guildmaster raised his voice like a child and praised me. He really is like a child, his enthusiasm is through the roof. He's an old man, but he's full of energy. Maybe you need to be full of energy to become a great person. Thank you for your hard work, Wataru-san. After the guildmaster, Camille-san thanked me as well. This makes me even happier. Yes, Gira-san did well too. Your reward will be generous. Camille-san, isn't the guildmaster's mood a little strange? The happy-go-lucky guildmaster made me feel a little scared, so I asked Camille-san in a low voice. Yes, we were working while you were away, but there were a few things that happened during the preparations. When I asked for more details, it seemed that they made preliminary arrangements with the various trading companies and wealthy merchants in the southern city before talking to the Southern Count. The lobbying itself went well, but it seems that he got into a fight with the head of one of the trading companies. The head of that trading company has a similar relationship to the guildmaster and Moro-san, and it seems that they are rivals as well as fighting friends. He seems to be in a good mood because he can get a mount from that golden deer as a fighting buddy. I trust him to do his job well, but it's so stupid that I'm worried about him. Are you sure that the negotiations with the Southern Count will go well? I understand that you're worried, but the guildmaster is someone who has risen to the top of the merchant guild in the southern city, which is the center of trade in this country. Please rest assured that he is a man of ability. Well, if Camille-san says that, then I'm reassured, but I'm still a little worried. Oh, by the way, Camille-san, could you introduce me to a blacksmith? The guildmaster is talking to Marina-san and the others about the reward, so I'll go and fulfill my original purpose while they're busy. A blacksmith. It's unusual that you want a weapon, Wataru-san. So, is a blacksmith always associated with a weapon in this world? No, I want a new cooking utensil, not a weapon. A new cooking utensil. That's a bit difficult. What? Why not? Isn't a blacksmith who makes kitchen knives enough? It's not necessary to be a master craftsman, is it? Well, I'm a little interested in a hot sandwich maker made by a master craftsman. Blacksmiths who make daily necessities are busy. I wonder if they are taking new orders. That's not quite the reaction I was expecting. I thought that since they make daily necessities, some of them might be free. Blacksmiths look down on those who make daily necessities. That's why there are few blacksmiths who make daily necessities, and because there are so few, the work is concentrated, and they are very busy. Camille-san explains to me while I look on with a puzzled expression, but I still don't understand. If they're busy, they must be making a lot of money, so don't other blacksmiths get involved in making daily necessities? I can understand why they think they're so great at making great weapons. Knives are important, but there's a certain romance to great weapons. If I were a blacksmith, I'd probably want a holy sword or a magic sword, too. Weapons are expensive, so if you're good at it, you can be busy and make a lot of money. Blacksmiths who make weapons strive for that, and sometimes, they consider blacksmiths who make daily necessities to be failures. It would be a big help for us if they would put more effort into the daily necessities. But if you ask a blacksmith to make daily necessities, he will get really angry. What a vicious cycle. But if I had to choose between being busy and making money or not being busy and making money, I'd choose the latter. Can't you ask a blacksmith who doesn't have much skill and needs some money? I don't think all blacksmiths are skilled. I think the blacksmiths who don't have any money before they become blacksmiths who make daily necessities are the ones to go for. Those are the people who get angry. I think they probably feel like they're being confronted with reality. Blacksmiths are really troublesome, aren't they? What should I do? Are you looking for a blacksmith? I'll introduce you to one. He's got a bad attitude, but his skills are pretty good. The guild master joined the conversation when we were in trouble. If his skill is good, won't he get angry if I ask him to make daily necessities? If he's got a bad attitude, that's even more so. I don't think Marina-san and the others will lose, but I don't want to be yelled at. If you have my letter of introduction, you don't have to worry. He owes me a lot. The guild master made an evil face. I see, so he's got him by the scruff of the neck. I'd rather not have a person with a bad attitude, but it looks like it's going to be hard to find someone else, so I'll ask for a letter of introduction. What? I thought you were a bit of a wimp, but it turns out that you're being introduced by the guild master. Huh? TSK, so what kind of weapon do you want? He had a really bad attitude. I had heard about it from the guild master, but I didn't think it would be this bad. The guild master's letter of introduction was thrown at me without being read. You know, he was like a well-trained delinquent. Exactly the kind of person I can't stand. I hope he reads the letter of introduction properly. It says there that I want him to make daily necessities. It's very difficult for me to ask for daily necessities in this kind of atmosphere. But I have to say it. It would be pathetic to ask Marina-san and the others to make an order for me. Well, I want you to make daily necessities, not weapons. Oh, so you look down on me, huh? I don't look down on you. So please don't stare at me. I've only seen that in delinquent manga. Would you please read the guildmaster's letter of introduction? The circumstances should be the TCH. Damn it. The delinquent blacksmith reluctantly opens the letter and begins to read it. It's a bit late, but he can actually read. The delinquent blacksmith finishes reading the letter, says things like huh? And damn it. And turns his face to me. What kind of order would you like to place? With a flush of anger on his face and veins bulging at his temples, the bad attitude blacksmith carefully takes the order with a smile that doesn't quite look like a smile. I'm filled with nothing but fear. I'm afraid of this blacksmith who's about to explode, and I'm afraid of the guildmaster who's holding him by the scruff of the neck. I wonder if he can really make a hot sandwich maker like this? Striving for the luxury liner. Volume 21 Chapter 11. Chapter 11, A Rude Blacksmith Who Cries Over an Order. After I brought the golden deer back to the southern city and showed it off as requested by the guildmaster of the merchant guild, there was naturally a great deal of commotion. The commotion was according to plan, so it didn't matter, but the blacksmith who was introduced to me by the guildmaster to make the hot sandwich maker was very rude. The blacksmith in front of me asks for my order. He's on the verge of exploding in anger. Or maybe he's already on the verge of exploding. But I'm afraid his weakness, which the guildmaster has, is no laughing matter, and he's smiling at me in a very scary way. I wonder if I should really ask someone like that to make me cook utensils. Do I really want cookware so badly? I mean, to be honest, I do want them. I want to make hot sandwiches with the ladies, line up the ingredients, and have a good time. The problem is that the cookware will likely be cursed, but even in a fantasy world, that shouldn't be the case, right? Well, I'm sorry to the grumpy blacksmith, but I'm going to have him make all kinds of things for me. I'm scared, but to be honest, Marina-san and the others will protect me, and I probably won't lose even on my own. Rima and Bent are with me as well. When I calm down, I realize that there's no reason to be afraid, and my thoughts become bold. Well, it's still scary to look at. Well, first of all, the main item is a hot sandwich maker. Next, a fire pit would be handy. There is a place on the raft where I can light a fire, but it would definitely be convenient to have a fire pit that I could set up freely. Also, I'd also like to have pots and plates that can be stacked and stored compactly, but to be honest, I can load up the rubber boat with as much luggage as I want, so I won't be considering compact items this time. I think it would sell if he made it and sold it, but I don't think the grumpy blacksmith in front of me would be happy to make money from it. Also, there are all sorts of pesky things like contracts. Oh, I need a big Dutch oven. We have a lot of people, and they all eat a lot, so it would be nice to be able to make a lot at once. Now, the only thing left is whether I can communicate this order well. Well, I've been measuring the readings of the electric hot sandwich maker on the ship, so I think I'll be able to handle it. While I'm at it, I'll have him make all the attachments separately. TCH, they're all cast metal, and there's a lot of them. After giving the order, the grumpy blacksmith muttered unhappily. Come to think of it, I don't know his name. Well, there's no inconvenience at the moment, and I don't feel the need to force myself to know the man's name. I can't help the fact that there are a lot of them. I plan to use them with everyone in my group. I'll prepare special ones for the slime group and Pent, not just for the women. The slime group and Pent will definitely be happy to have their own. Can you make cast metal items? Of course, I can make them. Don't underestimate me, you idiot. I'm not saying that you have to treat your customers as gods, but calling them idiots is something else. He really has a bad attitude. Then will you please make them for me? Damn it, at least ask for a knife. The rude man mumbles to himself as he takes down the order. A knife. There are good knives in the kitchen of the luxury liner, so there's no need. Wait a minute. Among the various things I've received in my adventures so far, there was an ingot of a rather rare metal. I've neglected it because I don't need a powerful weapon. But wouldn't it be great if I could make a knife out of it? I want it. I didn't care much about cooking utensils, but I really wanted a knife made of a rare metal. Please wait a moment. I'll be right back. I left the blacksmith's shop, went into an alley, summoned a rubber boat in a place where I wouldn't be seen, and stuffed the ingot of orichalcum into my bag. There are other rare metals, but I think orichalcum is the best. Oh, but I can't give up mithril either. Adamantite doesn't really feel like a kitchen knife. I'll ask for mithril then. Wataru, what are you going to do with that? Carla-san, who came along to provide protection, asks with a puzzled look on her face. I was going to ask if I could make a kitchen knife out of it. With mithril and orichalcum? Even Carla-san seems to think that a kitchen knife made of mithril or orichalcum would be a waste. I understand that feeling, but I can't use swords, so I need a kitchen knife. Actually, I wanted to have rare metal cutlery as well, but I resisted the urge because I thought it would be tacky. Yes, if it makes the blade sharper, it might make the food taste better. I doubt it would make that much of a difference, but I've heard it's important to have a sharpness that doesn't crush the cells of the ingredients. I can only cook at an amateur level, but I think it would be worth it if I could supplement my skills with tools like this. I see. That's important. As expected from Carla-san. She immediately understood the possibility of making food taste better. Would you make a knife with this? I asked as I showed the ill-tempered man the mithril and orichalcum in the workshop. Hey, you, why are you carrying this stuff around? And a knife? Why don't you let me make you a sword? Oh, the reaction I was expecting. I've made careless mistakes many times, but I can predict reactions like this. Then please make me the best knife you can. If I'm satisfied with your skill, I'll order some weapons and armor. It wouldn't be a bad idea to upgrade In's and Felicia's equipment. If possible, I'd like to give them to Alessia-san and the others as well, but I know they'd object if I gave them rare metal weapons. But if we discuss it together and I follow up with them, I don't think there will be a problem, right? It's a kind of investment. And if the already strong Girosoul is strengthened, my personal security will increase even more. It's a bit of a waste while we're stuck on the ship, but it's reassuring when we go out. Well, I don't go out much, so it feels like a waste, but I'll be going out more often in relation to the Beastman City, so it's not so bad. You're not lying, are you? The rude man speaks in a rude tone, his eyes sparkling. He seems to be happy that he can make weapons out of rare metals. But even when he's happy, he still talks badly. Should I ask for a sword for Ins and a dagger for Felicia, who usually uses a bow? Oh, it wouldn't be a bad idea to ask for a camping knife or a survival knife. But I don't really need a knife in my situation. Well, if the blacksmith is reliable, I'll consider a knife for self-defense as an option. I am not lying. If you make the knives I order well, and my friends recognize your skills, I'll leave the work to you. I want a santoku knife as a basic and also a dibber knife. I'm afraid to make sashimi myself, so I probably won't need a Yanajiba knife. No, I'll have you make all the knives I know about because it'll be a good topic of conversation with the god of gastronomy Sama. Well, I think I'll have a santoku, a daba, a Yanajiba, a nakiri, a sujihiki, and a Chinese cleaver. Oh, I also need a fruit knife and a bread knife. I'm going to have a hot sandwich maker made, so a bread knife is especially important. I can also think of a beef knife and a tuna knife, but I don't really understand how they work, so I'll look into it later and order them if they seem interesting. TSK, they're so precise. Do you really need one of those? The grumpy blacksmith muttered as I explained the features and mechanisms of the knives I knew. If I had to say whether I needed it or not, I'd lean towards the not necessary side, but I knew I'd get in trouble if I said that, so I kept quiet. It's necessary. Oh, come to think of it, what about making a pot out of orichalcum? I remember hearing that copper pots have excellent heat conductivity. Then what about orichalcum? I don't know, shithead. I'm interested, but this time I won't say anything. The grumpy blacksmith looks a little tearful. Anyway, please make the things I ordered. How long will it take to finish them? Casting is a pain in the ass once you've made the mold, but I can do the quantity in about 3 days. But the knives will take longer. Idiot, why are you making knives out of orichalcum? You should just die. I was just being abused. I guess it's inevitable that it takes time to make the knives. Then can you make the bread knife and the cast metal utensils? To be honest, I can cut bread with a normal knife, but I like to use a bread knife with a wavy edge to cut it into pieces, so I'd like to use that if possible. Damn, the hardest part is at the beginning. Alright, I'll do it, but don't forget our promise. If you forget, I'll kill you. I'm getting used to this guy's words and actions. If you think of him as a poor person who can't talk to people without cursing, then there's nothing wrong with him. I understand. So, how long would it take to make the bread knife and the casting together? Well, I suppose I could do it in 3 days. Oh, so he wanted to make it at the same time as the other one. 3 days. Then I'll go back to the southeastern island. It's probably too noisy and hectic in the southern city. Then I'll come back in 3 days. Hey, what about the contract with the god of commerce Sama? I see. If I'm going to leave rare metals behind, it's only natural to go through the contract with the god of commerce Sama. I don't think you'd pass up the chance to make weapons and armor out of mithril or adamantite, so it's okay. He has his weakness under the control of the guildmaster, and he doesn't seem to be a bad craftsman just because he's a rude guy. That's why I can't say for sure that he won't run off with it, but I still have a feeling that everything will be okay. I leave the forge with my head slightly bowed. I hear someone say, "What? You've got adamantite too, you idiot." But I don't think I need to worry about it. I have a feeling he won't run away with it, but I can't rule out the possibility that the ill-tempered blacksmith, tempted by the idea, might make a weapon out of the orichalcum and mithril he was given. Should I go back to the forge and make a deal with the god of commerce Sama? That would be embarrassing. I'm a little worried, but I'll trust him. For now, I'll go back to the Japanese-style boat. No, before that, I'll go back to the Merchant's Guild and look for a request I can do on the southeastern island. I could just relax on the open sea without going back to the southeastern island, but I'll enjoy camping for a while. Camping is fun because people praise me for it. ******. I had a feeling it would turn out like this, but it really did. When Marina-san and the others returned to the Japanese-style boat after receiving the request at the Merchant's Guild, there are thugs lying around and people who look like merchants are gathered in the distance. We've brought the golden deer to the Merchant's Guild, and there are thugs and merchants who want the Japanese-style boat. Would it be easier to ignore them all and quickly get on the Japanese-style boat and set sail? Striving for the Luxury Liner, Volume 21 Chapter 12. Enjoy. Chapter 12, It's Kind of Divine. The blacksmith I went on the guildmaster's recommendation was as bad-tempered as the guildmaster had said. However, with the guildmaster's letter and my rare materials, I was able to gain the upper hand over the blacksmith, and even I, who was a nervous wreck, managed to get him to accept my order to make some knives for me with the rare materials. Wow! It's kind of divine. 3 days after I asked the grumpy blacksmith to do the job, he sat haughtily in front of me. While waiting for the finished product, we kicked around the merchants and thugs and returned to the southeastern island. After doing some work, we visited this blacksmith again. The members were Remo, Pent, Marina-san and the others, and myself. Ins and Felicia were on the escort for the Japanese-style boat again this time. When we arrived at the harbor, a crowd of merchants and rough-looking men came out, so there was nothing we could do about it. Well, it's time for me to stop escaping from reality. The divine object in my hand is the orichalcum bread knife I ordered. Yes, a bread knife. The metal's color is like gold tinted with orange, yet it has a presence and a radiance of its own. I'll say it again, it's a bread knife. When I ordered it, I thought it was interesting, but when I saw the actual thing, I felt like I had done something terribly blasphemous. You know, I could have made legendary swords and spears out of orichalcum, weapons that would go down in history. But no, I made a bread knife out of it. I think that's what it's trying to tell me. I'm sorry. Even from my perspective of having actually seen a god, it's divine. Hey, stop being so quiet and say something, you idiot. While I was apologizing to the orichalcum in my heart, the impatient and rude blacksmith spoke to me. Well, I think it's a quality I can be satisfied with, but I'm not an expert, so I'll let everyone take a look at it. I handed the orichalcum bread knife to Marina-san. If you don't think things through, he's a reliable blacksmith. Is that a bread knife? It certainly conveys a wonderful technique. Wataru, does bread taste better when you cut it with this? Marina-san and Claretta-san seem to be evaluating the blacksmith's skill without considering the bread knife. Carla-san seems to be concerned about the taste. I think the sharpness of a knife is important for meat and fish. But what about bread? I wonder if it makes much difference since there are no cells? No, because the bread isn't squashed, it won't affect the taste. A hot sandwich maker. The kind I like is the one that squashes it really tight. I won't know until I try it, but if the crunch is good, the cross-section will be nice, and I think that will affect the taste of the food as well. Probably. I'm looking forward to it. Carla-san nodded with a very sweet smile. That's a lot of pressure. It looks fantastic. Thank you very much. Of course, you idiot. So which one are you going to make next? Hurry up and decide, you idiot. He responded to my words with insults. I'm not angry because I can see that he's embarrassed, but cursing and a man's embarrassed face doesn't help anyone. This blacksmith also has a bad personality. That said, next. I felt like I was being blasphemous, but is it okay to continue making kitchen knives out of rare metals? Next time, make a santoku knife, and after that, make things that are easy to make in order. I decided to continue the blasphemy. If I just make an orichalcum bread knife, it will be the work of a fool, but if I make a set of knives, it might have some meaning. I can't finish it halfway, but if I can get past the foolish work, it will be a great achievement. I hope. TSK, I understand. You're such a pain. The grumpy blacksmith grimaces at my request. Was he hoping that I would stop making knives and switch to swords? I'm sorry. I feel a little bad, but I take the order and leave the smithy. Now, all I have to do is go back to the southeastern island and have a hot sandwich party. I'm really looking forward to it, because I'm going to tell everyone about the hot sandwich party after the order is placed, and then we'll all make our own and have a competition. We've already taken a request at the Merchants Guild before we went to the blacksmith, and the guild master said something about negotiating with the Southern Lord, but I'm useless at that sort of thing, so I'll leave the negotiations to them. But I really wanted to have a hot sandwich party with Camille-san. I didn't even ask her because I thought she'd get really mad if I did. Wow, there are more than before. When we returned to the harbor, more thugs lay around the Japanese-style boat, and more merchants watched it from a distance. I can't help but wonder if they really want the boat that badly. But since I can make enough money in 6 months to buy the lotto, well, I guess anyone would want it. And that's just for the pick-up and drop-off. If you can secure a boat and use the island's resources for business, you'll be rich in no time. That is if you can find someone to work on the southeastern island. We're leaving now. Roger that. At Marina-san's signal, we ran towards the Japanese-style boat. Wait, please. We just want to negotiate about that boat. Sell it to us, please. The merchants who have noticed me call out to me to negotiate, but I ignore them because I'm not selling. Even when I say no, they don't give up. Stop, girls. Gobu. Marina-san blows the thug coming at us from the front away. I wonder if he's still alive. I won't say that I don't think about running while being protected by a woman. Maybe I could even win if I fought. But Marina-san's words make me nervous. When attacked by the enemy, I must defend myself and escape, not attack recklessly. That was Marina-san's advice. If I were to fight back out of impatience or fear, she said that various parts of the thugs might be torn off, so I'd be too scared to fight back. While I was thinking about the scary things, I jumped into the Japanese-style boat, quickly started the engine, and set off. Oh, a boat blocked the way in front of the Japanese-style boat. It seems that the other side had made proper preparations as well since I had to flee last time. Gahaha, you can't escape now. Just give up and hand over the boat to us. Was it the thugs who blocked the path of our boat? The merchants didn't seem to try anything rash in the harbor. Well, there's a good chance that the merchants were behind the thugs. What should we do? The boat blocking our way is small, so I feel like I could force my way through. But I'm sure they know that too. I can't just act carelessly. Wataru, let's go. Oh, yes, thank you, Carla. When Carla grabbed the edge of the other boat that was carrying 4 people, she lifted it up and moved it aside. The other thugs were so surprised they couldn't even scream. The difference in strength is amazing. Shall we set sail now? Asterisk asterisk asterisk. We returned to the southeastern island and rented a large tent raft. Wataru, what should we do first? Carla-san, who looked excited as soon as she got on the raft, called out to me. Are you sure you don't want to take a break? No, I'm hungry. I had told them about the hot sandwich party before, but it made me happy to know that they were looking forward to it so much. Shall we get ready then? Yes, Wataru, I'll help too. Thank you, Claretta. First of all, let's prepare the grill. We'll use 2 this time. The hot sandwich maker takes up a lot of space, so it's better to have more than one. Next, we'll cut up the ingredients so they're easy to use and lay them out on the table. It would also be good to have some soup. Personally, I think a simple corn or tomato soup would be better for hot sandwiches than a soup with a lot of ingredients. Okay, minestrone is a bit of a hassle, so let's make a simple tomato and onion soup. It's also the debut of the Dutch oven I just got today. I get the rubber boat with the ingredients inside the big tent and have Ins and Felicia carry it outside. First, we need bread. It is the most important ingredient. Then we need cheese, ham, bacon, and sausage. These are the standard ingredients for a hot sandwich, so I can't leave them out. I have more than one kind of cheese, and I've collected a variety of cheeses from the ferry and the luxury liner. This will make a delicious hot sandwich with a mixture of cheeses. There are also lots of vegetables: cabbage, onions, tomatoes, carrots, peppers, avocados. I've got every vegetable I can think of. But tomatoes and onions are the same as the soup. Let's skip the tomato soup and make corn soup. It'll be easy because I have a commercial can of corn that I got on the ferry. Oh, I'll have to get some meat too. I'm going to use the same dishes as on the ship for the steak, roast beef, chicken, and pork. I'll also need some seafood. I think that's about it. If there's not enough, I can always make more. Oh, I'll need to prepare some alcohol. Since we're at a party, I'll skip the strong stuff and stick to beer and shotcha highballs. Okay, let's get this hot sandwich party started. Is everyone ready? Everyone worked quickly together to get everything ready before the sun went down. It was a little early for dinner, but I couldn't wait any longer, so I announced the start of the event. Yes. Now, as I explained earlier, please use the attachments of your choice to make delicious hot sandwiches. Even though it was an event I had planned, everyone enthusiastically helped with the preparations, and I was happy to see them enjoying themselves so much. I ordered the hot sandwich maker from the Grumpy Blacksmith. I like the type that crimps the crusts of the bread together as you press down, but I also prepared some attachments that can be used to make thick, hot sandwiches, and Carla-san has already taken the one that can make thick sandwiches. I'm sure she's going to make a very voluminous hot sandwich. I'm looking forward to that as well. Everything is ready. All that's left is to make the hot sandwiches in the style of hand-rolled sushi. Remo, Pent, I'm going to show you how to do it, so watch. Then I'll make the ones you want to make. First, the demonstration. I set up the sandwich maker with the pressure plate on and put ham and cheese on the bread. It's a classic combination, but I need to make sure these 2 hot sandwich novices like the basics. I wonder if they'll like it. Striving for the Luxury Liner, Volume 21 Chapter 13. Chapter 13, Hot Sandwich Party. The item I ordered from the rude blacksmith was finished, as the master of the Merchant Guild had said. He was quite skilled, and I was very pleased with the cast metal products. The orichalcum bread knife was of such high quality that it seemed almost divine. I returned to the southeastern island after receiving the requested item, and it was finally time to hold the hot sandwich party. I'm in a state of extreme nervousness right now. I put the hot sandwich maker on the grill with the classic ham and cheese inside and said that I was going to have a fun hot sandwich party and show Rimo and Pent how it's done. Not only Rimo and Pent but the women looked at me with happy expressions. I was so proud of myself and was about to concentrate on the hot sandwiches, when I suddenly realized something. How long should I grill them? I've used electric hot sandwich makers many times before, so I know roughly how to cook them. This time, however, I'm using a custom hot sandwich maker from another world. On top of that, it's my first time using a charcoal hot sandwich maker, so I'm in a very reckless situation. Why did I say something so arrogant as to show them an example of how to do it with such confidence in such a vague situation? I'm filled with regret. I should have at least set aside some time to practice beforehand, or at least prepared some kind of excuse like I'm not going to make a model. I'm just going to experiment with a degree of doneness because it's my first time. What if I serve a burnt or undercooked hot sandwich? In such a situation, everyone's nice, so they probably won't say anything, but my heart will die. I have to make a golden brown hot sandwich this time. Concentrate. Concentrate. Sharpen all my senses and feel the breath of the hot sandwich. Don't miss the slightest change. The hot sandwich maker is heating up, and I can feel the bread inside. Is this a hallucination? No, I've felt this sensation before. That's right. It's the zone. Being cornered and concentrating has opened the door to the zone again. This is going to work. I can feel what's happening inside the hot sandwich maker through the look in my eyes and the feel of the handle. I can feel everything. The moisture draining from the outside of the bread, the way the bread is lightly browning, the way the cheese inside is slowly starting to melt as it heats up. Not yet. Not yet. It's too early to turn. Now. Phew. It's the perfect golden brown. I don't have to look at it to know. But I can't lose my concentration now. Even if one side is perfect, it's no good if the other side is a disaster. It's only a hot sandwich if both sides are perfect. Okay, this moment is the best. I quickly remove the hot sandwich maker from the heat and open it. What comes out is a golden brown hot sandwich, but it's not done yet. One of the joys of a hot sandwich is the beautiful cross-section. Only when you reveal that cross-section can you say that the hot sandwich is complete. I quickly grab the orichalcum bread knife. Wait a minute. Is this it? Is this the kind of joke where the orichalcum is so sharp that it cuts through the cutting board and even the table? My brain cells, which are in a zone, are spinning rapidly. As someone who has enjoyed various otaku cultures in the past, I also really like that kind of joke. Even though I know what's going to happen, I still feel the urge to go for it. But everyone is looking at me with excited expressions, and there is a hot sandwich that I am proud of, perfectly toasted. I can't ruin that for the sake of a joke, because I'm not a comedian. Oh no, I didn't order the orichalcum cutting board. I'm sure I'll order one the next time I'm in Southern City, but for now, the important thing is how to cut the hot sandwich in front of me. If I don't hurry, it's going to get cold. It was easy when I thought about it. I ran into the tent and summoned a rubber boat. I took 2 ingots of orichalcum and purified them. If I don't have an orichalcum chopping board, I can use the ingot as a substitute. By Wataru. Everyone looked at me with concern when I suddenly started running, but when they saw the orichalcum ingot I was holding, the women's eyes turned to disappointment. I know what they're thinking, but there's no way around it since I don't have an orichalcum cutting board. I put a hot sandwich on the ingot and put the orichalcum bread knife next to it. I had only moved the bread knife a little, but when I looked, the blade had made contact with the ingot. I didn't even feel it cut. I liked the feeling of cutting through something with a bread knife, but the blade was probably sharp enough that the bread could be cut just by the weight of the knife. In conclusion, since most things can be cut cleanly with an orichalcum blade, there is no need for a bread knife. Despite coming to such a blunt conclusion, I've decided to complete the orichalcum knife set, and my resolve is unshakable. I'll definitely order a cutting board, too. For now, though, the hot sandwich is more important. I put down the bread knife and picked up the hot sandwich to check the cross-section. Wow, the cross-section is perfectly flat. It's so beautiful that I feel like it might stick together if I put it back together again. The beautiful, almost frightening cross-section slowly begins to melt, as if time has begun to move. It's a wonderful sight. I give the hot sandwich, which has turned deliciously, to Rimmer and Pent. Oh, they'll just bite into it as it is. I would have liked them to enjoy the beauty of the cross-section a little more, but, well, I'll settle for the thought that they'll find it delicious. It's like this. It looks like 2 minutes on each side is just right, so let's enjoy the rest of it. I've checked the baking time, so everyone should be able to make a decent hot sandwich even if they're not in the zone. The girls start to move at my words, or rather, Carla-san has already started, struggling to shove the pile of ingredients into the hot sandwich maker. I wonder if that's okay? Well, I'm hungry too, so let's make the next hot sandwich. Next time, maybe a luxury steak. I ordered a thick, rare fillet steak from the steakhouse on the luxury liner. I'll put it on a bun, and, oh, the condiments are important too. Wasabi soy sauce and garlic soy sauce are tempting, but since it's a hot sandwich, I think a Western-style condiment would be a good to start with. I'll use the red wine sauce I got from the same steak shop. No cheese this time. Let's enjoy a hot sandwich with lots of meat. How about it? What true? Claretta-san was the first to finish. An egg sandwich. It's a classic, but it looks delicious, and the lettuce in between really makes it stand out. A classic egg sandwich is delicious even when made into a hot sandwich. As you'd expect from someone who loves to cook, she's also paid attention to how it looks, and the lettuce as a decorative touch really adds something. Claretta's sandwich looks healthy. Master, is this the right way to make a hot sandwich? Next was In's sandwich. This is a visual assault. It could certainly be called the perfect hot sandwich. The thick chicken and the cheese almost spilled out of the sandwich. It looks absolutely delicious. I know, right? Ins nodded confidently. The cheese almost spilling out of the sandwich is both the classic way to make a hot sandwich and a bit of a cheat. You don't have to think about it, it's delicious. Marina-san, is that layered roast beef? Yes, with an onion sauce in between, and the cooking time was a little shorter. I see. The bread is only lightly browned. In order to maintain the rare-like texture of the roast beef in the first dish, the cooking time was shortened. It's not to be underestimated. And it looks really good. My steak is also rare, but I'm going to shorten the grilling time a bit with the intention of cooking it through in the hot sandwich. It will definitely taste better that way. Felicia put shrimp, avocado, and cheese in her hot sandwich. It looks like a hot sandwich with a pretentious feel, but it also looks delicious. Oops, my hot sandwich is almost done. When I take it out and cut it, the rare cross-section of the thick fillet steak is beautiful. When I bite into it, I get a crunchy sensation followed by the softness of the fillet. It's crisp and chewy. When I chewed it, the fillet's deliciousness and the red wine's flavor spread in my mouth. If you're looking for the perfect balance, the fillet would probably be better if it were a little thinner, but the deliciousness of the thick meat alone makes up for the imbalance. Simply put, it's the best. What is this? It's delicious. The bread doesn't feel like it's losing out, but the meat is so delicious that it satisfies a strong, fundamental desire to eat meat. I can't stop eating this, and I have to make the other half as well. Oh, Rimmer and Pent are eating together. Well, I'll just make some more. But first, Carla, how about reducing the ingredients a bit? She doesn't want to reduce the amount of ingredients, so I give her some advice. Carla-san, who just puffed up a bit, is cute. Listen, Carla, it's exciting to have a hot sandwich with lots of ingredients, but it's meaningless if you can't make it. Just make lots of them and eat lots of them! Exclamation mark. When I say something that seems obvious, Carla-san looks as if she's received a divine revelation. After nodding slowly, she started making hot sandwiches with a drastically reduced amount of ingredients. From now on, Carla-san will probably be making and eating a lot of hot sandwiches. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Hot sandwich party. It was so much fun. And I won the contest. I tried my best to win at the end, but I had planned my winning strategy from the beginning. My winning menu was a chocolate banana hot sandwich. Yes, a dessert hot sandwich. The whole roasted apple was a big hit at the barbecue the other day, and as the end of the party approached, the women couldn't resist the chocolate banana, so I won the competition. Even though people said it was unfair. I feel like I've been really active since I came to this southeastern island. Striving for the luxury liner, Volume 21 Chapter 14. Enjoy. Chapter 14, Holiday. We had a hot sandwich party, enjoyed hot sandwiches with various ingredients, and won the hot sandwich contest. I think I managed to save face even though I went a little crazy with the orichalcum bread knife and other things. After the hot sandwich party, we continued to travel back and forth between the southern city and the southeastern island, taking requests and camping out. The various orichalcum knives I ordered from the rude blacksmith were completed, as were the additional orichalcum cutting boards. I also found a knife case to hold all these items, and the divine-looking knife set, tentatively, was complete. The reason it's, tentatively, called a set is because the orichalcum knives completely outshine the ordinary wooden case. The orichalcum knives seem to shine and have more presence when set together, so it's hard to find a knife case that fits them. I also considered making the knife sheath out of orichalcum, but the rude blacksmith got mad, and I couldn't order it. When it came to the chopping board, he was reluctant, saying that the order for the weapon should come first, and well, that can't be helped. That's why I have In's sword and my dagger made of orichalcum. Even during these peaceful days, Camille-san was working hard, exchanging words with the southern count, the bureaucrats sent from the country, and the various guild masters. I had just received a report on the lotto. The report itself was reassuring, stating that the negotiations were going smoothly and that a final decision was imminent, but I felt something strange about Camille-san, who had given me the report. I felt that something was not quite right. Everyone, I was wondering if you think Camille-san is okay the way she is? I asked the girls as I was worried. Well, she seems to have a lot of energy, maybe too much energy, almost like she's ready to fight. Does that mean she's always on the battlefield, Marina-san? She works too much. I think so, too, Carla-san. Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say she's sacrificing her life, but it seems like she's expending a tremendous amount of energy. I don't know where she gets that energy from, though. Claretta-san's perspective as a priestess is very reliable. However, the cause seems to be unknown. Isn't it because she does what she wants? She's not a child, but she's similar in that she's single-minded about what she likes. I feel a catch in In's words. I'm a little worried. I hope she doesn't end up damaging her body. Felicia's kindness is a source of healing for me, on a par with Rim. Recently, the smaller Pent also healed my heart, and I'm a very lucky person. I see. I understood to a certain extent, thanks to In's words. Camille-san is a workaholic. I knew she liked business in general. Even from the outside, I could tell that she enjoyed her work at the castle. Well, there are some jobs that she dislikes because they are tedious, but overall, the sense of fulfillment seems to outweigh the negatives. Camille-san, who loves business so much, was given a new job. It was a big job, establishing a regular shipping route that crossed national borders. On the other side were big shots representing countries and guilds, and Camille-san's merchant spirit was ignited. Otaku are single-minded about their interests and can wield tremendous power over them. The combination of a rewarding job and an otaku spirit has created a company slave who is happy at work. Isn't that about right? It's dangerous. It's dangerous no matter how you look at it. The word company slave is supposed to be filled with pathos and sadness, but the phrase company slave who is happy at work makes me feel a sense of wild joy. It's a straight line to death from overwork. According to Claretta-san, she doesn't seem to have used up any of her life force yet, but if we don't do something soon, it may be too late. Also, while we were enjoying the camp, our friend turned into a hyper-corporate slave, and the guilt I feel is overwhelming. Well, it seems like things are in the final stages now, so we can't disturb her. But when Camille-san's work is done, I think she should take a break. The girls all that nodded in agreement with my words. I was glad to have their approval. But, Master, what about a break? During the voyage, it's like we're on vacation, but Camille is working away, no matter what. I don't think she will rest so easily. In's point is also valid. During our last trip, she was busy running around to help in the affected areas, and even after that, she was working hard to prepare for the opening of the regular shipping route. Even if I give her a vacation without thinking about it, I can see that she will be busy with things like finishing the negotiations this time or preparing for the negotiations in the Aquamarine Kingdom. That's because she's a company slave who loves her work. Now that I think about it, company slaves who love their work are a bad quality. How about letting her rest in a place where she can't work? She could rest on the southeastern island right now. There's hardly any work there except for Marina-san and the others. If Ins, Felicia, and I do the chores, Camille-san can relax, even though it's surrounded by water. Is Camille the kind of person who can relax with monsters around? In's comments today are very sharp. Camille-san is very active, and I can't help but feel that she's going to be okay. I can't be sure. If I don't consider the size of the castle, it's the same, but the sense of security is on a different level. If I tie her nerves with actions that are supposed to help her rest, then it's meaningless, isn't it? What should I do? Just give her a job that lets her rest. Marina-san gave me some advice when I was worried, but I didn't understand what she meant. A job that will let her rest? Yes, Camille is reliable, so why not give her a job at the Chris or the palace to check out the differences in the facilities? I agree that Camille-san is reliable, but will that be a rest? I feel like the office workers will go crazy, and their work will get worse. I'm also afraid that the palace and Chris will be included in the regular route. It's inconvenient that 2 of the 5 slots have already been taken. Well, as long as I firmly refuse, it should be okay. Experience is important when researching things. This time, it would be a good to focus on activities, spas, and beauty treatments. I see, taking a bath soothes both the body and the mind, and I think even a guy like me would feel good in a beauty parlor. You can gain knowledge by being appointed as a staff member, but actual experience is stronger. I understand about spas and beauty salons, but what about activities? A healthy body also needs exercise. Ah, I see. When dealing with important people, it's important to be careful, and exercising to relieve stress isn't a bad idea, either. Then, when Camille-san's work settles down, we'll take a vacation. With the girl's approval, a vacation was decided without Camille-san's knowledge. Camille-san says she'll settle down after 10 days, so it'll be after that. Let's prepare for her to enjoy herself in various ways. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. And so, 10 days later. So, what True-san, what is it like to work at sea? I took Camille-san, who had said things had calmed down but was still working, out to sea in the Lotto to show her her new job. Yes, well, it's easier to understand when you see it, so please wait a moment. I summoned the Chris in front of Camille-san's eyes. Well, Camille-san has seen the castle summoned before, so she probably won't be surprised by the smaller Chris. But I want her to be a little surprised. This is different from the fortress. Is it more like the castle? I wanted her to be surprised, and she was. How can she make such a judgment just by looking at the exterior? Well, that's right. It's more like the castle in terms of classification. However, compared to the castle, it's a luxury liner with fewer cabins and entertainment options, and it's designed with an adult concept. The name of the ship is the Chris. I see. So you showed me this ship because you want to use it on a regular route. No, that's not it. Well, when the castle first opened, we thought about replacing it with another ship, but it's difficult to do that on a regular basis, so we've given up on that idea for now. No, I'm not thinking about that right now. What I'd like you to do this time is to experience the facilities and equipment on this ship and find out the differences between it and the castle. It's a vacation in the name of experience, but I'm sure Camille-san will do a good job of finding out the differences. It's a shame it can't be used for regular routes, but experiencing this ship, that sounds like a lot of fun. Oh, a positive reaction. I'm glad to hear that. Oh, I usually look at things from the perspective of management, so it might be a good to enjoy the ship as a customer this time. As a customer, I see, that's an important perspective as well. I think I'll try to tour the ship as a customer first. Good. The suggestion I had prepared beforehand to give Camille-san a break worked. If things go well, I think she'll accept proposal number 2 as well. Well, since you're here, why don't you join Marina and the others, Ins, Felicia, Rimmer, and Pent, for some fun? Suggestion number 2 was a strategy to get Camille-san, who would otherwise be working alone, to focus on the fun side of things by getting her some company. Rimmer and Pent are the healing types. There's also Saparabi, but I can't see Saparabi as a healing type, so I'll leave them out. Ah, you mean friends and family. It would be lonely for someone to be alone on such a big ship, so it would be best if everyone could come along. That quick understanding. As expected from the elite, it seems that Camille-san has already figured out that we are trying to get her to rest. Well, whether she knows it or not, as long as Camille-san gets a good rest, I have no problem with it. Well, let me show you to your room for now. I call Camille-san, who has just entered the Chris and is curiously checking out the differences in the interior. Oh, Thank you. Come to think of it, this is the second time I've stayed in a guest room. The second time? Oh, you stayed the first time I showed you around the castle. I let her stay when I recruited her. I'd forgotten about that. I show Camille-san to the room, thinking fondly of the past. This time, everything is prioritized for Camille-san, so I've given her the best room on the ship. I hope she enjoys it. Striving for the Luxury Liner, Volume 21 Chapter 15. Chapter 15, Camille, loosen the purse string. While we were carefree and enjoying our camping trip on a tropical island, Camille-san was busy negotiating with the important people of the country and the guild. Camille-san seemed to be the type of person who gets absorbed in her work, and even though she was exhausted, she was happily working with only her mental strength. Out of concern for her, we decided to give Camille-san a day off in the name of work. Camille's point of view. Wataru-san, isn't this the best room? The room Wataru-san showed me was the best room on the ship, even though I didn't know its name because I hadn't been appointed as a staff member yet. That's right. I want you to experience the best of this ship, so please take care of it. Wataru-san replied while his eyes wandered a bit. Wataru-san, you're so easy to understand. Maybe it's because he felt guilty for forcing this job on me, or maybe he was really worried about my health and prepared this meeting for me. I didn't notice it at first, but he looked at me nervously, he looked at me restlessly, and when I showed signs of getting worked up, he gave me a worried look. I'd say it was 10% guilt and 90% concern. As for the guilt, there's no need for that. It's more of a problem when the easy-to-understand Wataru-san comes out to negotiate. But I don't say that. As a merchant, I'm not nice enough to clear up misunderstandings that could be to my advantage. Still, he's really easy to understand, and that worries me. He doesn't hide his sexual desires at all. Well, it seems like he doesn't want to hide them, but if he wants to call himself a merchant, he should try a little harder in other areas. I understand. I'll make sure to experience this wonderful room. Huh? Oh, that's a good thing to do. But you don't have to try too hard. I think you'll be fine just being yourself, Camille-san. Is that so? Then I'll do just that. Wataru-san, don't look like you're happy with how well I've been able to lead you. It makes it difficult for me to respond. So, what do you want to do now? You can take your time and check out the room, or you can check out the facilities. Since we're staying the night, it's enough to check out the room at night. Then I think I'll go to the beauty salon. Since there are customers at the castle, it's not easy to use it even on vacation. Still, the beauty salon is wonderful, so I use it at least once a month at night. I go with Donatella, Bella-san, Flora, and the other female employees. I want to use the beauty salon as much as possible because it's a time of bliss, but it's not easy. Let's enjoy myself to my heart's content today. I want to check the beauty salon. Okay, shall I appoint Ins and Felicia to the staff? For a moment, Wataru-san thought about becoming an employee himself. Yes, I'm sorry for Ins and Felicia, but could you do it? Even though the Saparabi-chan is comfortable and effective, the quality is still higher when it's done by hand. The beauticians at the castle have improved their skills a lot, and the customer reviews are good. I can't expect them to be that good, but still, their treatments are more thorough than Saparabi-chan's. Now that I think about it, the staff appointments are a bit strange. I wonder why the knowledge is coming into my head. Let's not think about it too deeply because it's a bit scary. The ship summoning skill is even more abnormal than the staff appointments. Yes, I don't mind. I don't have a problem either. Then I'll make Ins and Felicia staff members. Since we are short of staff, I'll make Marina and the others staff as well. Would you like to receive treatment with them? The three girls called by Wataru-san nodded their heads. They will probably have more opportunities to get treatments than me, but still, as women, they won't let this opportunity pass them by, will they? Beauty salons have an enchanting charm. We went to the salon, guided by Wataru-san. Still, it's quite different from the castle. Both are luxurious, but the concepts seem to be completely different. If you think of the castle as a festival-like, extraordinary experience, then the Chris seems to be pursuing the elegant everyday life that adults desire. The castle also has a lot of adult customers, so I think the Chris will be able to satisfy them as well. But if you think of it as a business, the castle seems to be more likely to get people to spend money. The customers who come on the ship are wealthy people, so their wallets are looser for extraordinary experiences than for the pursuit of an elegant everyday life. Well then, Please enjoy the beauty treatment. I'll be playing with Rimu and the others, so please call me when you're done. After looking like he wanted to stay with us for a moment, Wataru-san leaves the shop with Rimu-chan and the others. He may be a gentleman when he leaves, but why does he show his desire before? It's such a waste. Well, it's okay. Wataru-san booked the whole beauty course for us, so it would be a shame if we didn't enjoy it to the fullest. It felt good. It felt really good. I was a little embarrassed because the people I consulted were In-san and Felicia-san, but the face, body, relaxation, everything. The castle had different treatment methods, equipment, and chemicals, but it's hard to say which is better. After the experience, the skin on my face seemed more moisturized on the Chris, but there are bound to be individual differences, so it's not really possible to make an absolute assessment. If I had to make a decision as a merchant, I'd include both in my options and let customers try both for themselves. Oh, I see the Chris can't be included in regular shipping. I'm terribly disappointed, but I can't ignore Wataru-san's wishes. So that means I won't have many opportunities to board the Chris, right? I feel that if I ask Wataru-san, he might let me on board. But it's not the way for a merchant to just rely on hope. Right, let's compare the stores next time. I'll stock up on beauty products like cosmetics that can't be found in the castle. I've been saving up my wages, which I don't get to use very often. This time, I've prepared a lot of them because it's a long trip. I've never had a chance to use them before, but now the time has finally come. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Camille-san's expression is so bright that it seems full of determination. Why is that? The other women who have experienced the full course of the beauty treatment are completely relaxed, and their skin glows with charm, right? Well, Camille-san is becoming wonderfully beautiful, too. Wataru-san, next, we'd like to check out the shops, starting with the cosmetics shop. Is that okay? Huh? Oh, yes, that's fine. I was thinking about having lunch next, but I guess it doesn't matter. There's still some time left. I guess I'm an idiot for thinking it wouldn't matter. The appointment of Ins and Felicia as shop assistants set off a storm of questions, and the women made a lot of noise, but they were serious. Especially Camille-san was incredibly serious. I'm playing quietly in the corner of the store with Rimu, Pent, and Fu-chan, who have taken refuge with us. It's dangerous to mix with the women now. Still, the determined look on Camille-san's face was the look of someone who was expecting a shopping spree here. I think the strong people who are about to go bargain shopping probably have that look as well. But if she goes shopping while she's so excited, I'm sure she'll be able to relieve some of the stress on her mind. It's a case of all's well that ends well. I put Remo on top of Fu-chan and then the smaller Pent on top of it. It looks kind of cool. I thought of it as a Kagami mochi, but with Pent instead of the mandarin orange. It almost looks like a Chinese-style ornament. Still, looking at it like this, you can see how much Rima has grown. When I first met him, he was the size of a fist, but now he's about half the size of a normal slime. I wonder what the growth mechanism is for slime. They're supposed to be monsters, so you'd think they'd grow fast, but Rima's growth is slow. Well, level-wise, he's growing incredibly fast. Is it because of the sudden leveling and evolution? I'm a little worried. But since he's gradually getting bigger and there's nothing wrong with his stats, I guess I have to trust that everything's okay. Unfortunately, there are no doctors in this world who can examine slime. Maybe God can do something? I'll ask Creator God Sama the next time I go to the Divine Realm. It's dangerous to approach him right now with all the things he has on his mind. Wataru, I'm hungry. I was lost in thought, watching Rimu and the others, when I was called. I looked up and saw Carla-san looking at me with a sad expression on her face. I looked at my watch and saw that it was past noon. It's not that Carla-san isn't interested in beauty products, but eating is more important. I looked at the women who were getting excited and thought it was time to stop shopping and go eat. A smart guy might be able to join them and take the lead, but that's not going to happen to me. And it looks like the shopping will take another hour. In front of me are the women enjoying their shopping, and next to me is a dejected Carla-san, hungry and depressed. This is a huge problem. Carla, shall we go and eat? In the end, I'll leave the girls alone and go eat with Carla-san, Rimu, and the others. Camille-san's inspection is just an excuse, so it's okay if they join us after they've finished shopping. Yeah, I want to eat a hamburger today. Got it. If it's a hamburger, The ones at the American-style cafe are delicious, so we'll go there. I wrapped Pent around my neck, and then I put Remo and Fu-chan on it. Remo and Fu-chan were already on both of Carla-san's shoulders. That's right, you can eat more when you're with Carla-san. I don't restrict myself either. But Remo and Fu-chan seem to be happier when they can eat a lot together. It's a little sad, but I have to give up because my stomach is normal size. Well, let's eat quickly and then work on refreshing Camille-san. Striving for the Luxury Liner, Volume 21 Chapter 16. Enjoy. Chapter 16, Fairly Good. To comfort Camille-san, who had been working so hard, I invited her to the Chris, pretending it was for work. I took her to a beauty treatment clinic to help her tired body and mind. When I saw Camille-san, who had been healed and regained her energy, I was happy that everything had gone according to plan. But for some reason, Camille-san, who had been smiling so happily, suddenly changed her face to that of a warrior, started to push forward with her shopping. Women's feelings are hard to understand. From Camille's point of view, maybe I was a little too enthusiastic. When I came to my senses, or rather, when I regained my composure, time had flown. It was just before lunch, but when I realized it, it was after 3 p.m., and my hands were full of the items I had purchased. I suspected that someone had manipulated me with their skills, but I don't think that's the case because there's no one who would benefit from tricking me into buying these items. Wataru-san tilted his head slightly, but it was definitely more than a little. For women, the beauty products on the luxury liner could even be considered sacred treasures. Since I can get my hands on these new products, I think this kind of outburst is within acceptable limits. Some of the ladies who visit the castle spend all their time on the ship, from morning to night, not to mention all the time they spend on the ship getting beauty treatments and buying beauty products. My outburst is nothing compared to that. Well, I didn't have a spending limit this time, so I can't compare myself to the other guests on the castle, who are all struggling with their spending limits. Carla and I had lunch earlier. I think Camille-san and the others are probably hungry, so shall we go for lunch? Well, it's almost snack time. I see. If I eat a proper meal now, I'll have trouble at night, so can I have something light? Even though I've been asked to take a tour of the place, I feel bad that I have to have a light meal, but on the other hand, I've learned a lot about beauty products, so I'll just have to let it go. Then shall we go to a cafe? It's a Parisian-style cafe, and they have delicious bagels, pastries, prosciutto and cheese. I'm not sure what he means by Parisian style, but if I think about it too much, I'll lose. If Wataru-san says it's delicious, it must be. Besides, I've never eaten anything on Wataru-san's ship that wasn't delicious. Then I'll leave it up to you. Wataru-san leads me to the cafe. I pride myself on being a reasonably competent person and a calm adult, but I'm starting to get excited and carried away. I don't think Wataru-san understands this. He doesn't understand the value of good food and how extraordinary the food served on Wataru-san's ship is. He seems to understand that the food served on his ship is extremely delicious, but it's a shame that he stops there. Even the chefs of the royal palace come to me to ask to be taken on as apprentices. A stylish cafe with a white interior. I'm already used to it, but the contrast with the beautiful sea outside is wonderful. As I sat down, a menu was handed to me. Well, they're all so tempting. I want to try them all. But if I can't eat dinner, there's no point in asking for a light meal. It's a dilemma. Wataru-san is talking to Carla at the next table, saying things like, "What? You've already eaten so much, and you're going to eat more? What about you, Remo?" "Oh well, I guess there's no point in complaining, is there?" And he sounds like he's given up on everything, but from my point of view I'm kind of jealous. If I could, I'd like to try all the food on this ship. Aside from the impossible, let's focus on the menu. It's not like a merchant to pass up a good opportunity. This pastry is pie dough. I've had pie a few times, so I'll have a bagel this time. I'm very curious about the fact that it's boiled before it's baked. I wonder if they have it at the castle. There are so many dishes on the menu there, and there are customers, so it's impossible to keep track of everything. I'll have the smoked salmon bagel sandwich and coffee. As soon as I placed my order, Saparabi-chan brought me my food. She looks cute in her apron and hat, which is part of the cafe's uniform. I think Saparabi-chan is the best. Wataru-san made me my own personal Saparabi-chan, who is the cutest, but I can't deny how cute the other Sapurabi-chan are, too. Donatella and I are very comforted by the Sapurabi-chan's support. I know that Moro-san spoils them like a grandfather spoils his grandchildren. They are also very popular with the other crew members and guests. But for some reason, Wataru-san seems a little distant with the Sapurabi-chan. Is it because they are so popular with the ladies? Thank you. I thank the Sapurabi-chan who served the food and pat her head lightly. Her hat is cute, but patting her head makes me feel like it's a waste. The Sapurabi-chans are fluffy and have the best feeling when you touch them. The order for Marina and the others is ready, and we start our late lunch. Smoked salmon bagel sandwich. It looks beautiful on the pure white plate. Many of the dishes on Wataru-san's ship, especially on the luxury liners, are very carefully prepared, right down to the presentation. Just by looking at the bagel, you can tell it's delicious. The bright green leafy vegetable, the orange smoked salmon, the raw onion on top. Is that cream cheese? Just looking at it makes it look delicious, doesn't it? I especially like the smoked salmon. When I first tried it, it was a real shock. At first, I was a little confused because it looked like it was raw, but I soon became addicted to the rich flavor of the salmon and the aroma of the smoke. The only problem is that it goes so well with alcohol, but I secretly enjoy smoked salmon, cheese, and sparkling white wine in the quiet of the evening. It's really rich. The surface of the bagel is hard and feels heavy. Many of the breads on Wataru-san's ship are soft, but this seems to be a different kind. I only tried the bagel. As I expected, the texture was hard and chewy. That's why it felt heavy. I wonder if the taste is just salt. When I chew it slowly, I can really taste the wheat flavor. It's simple but delicious, just the way it is. Next, the filling. Ah, this is good. The crunch of the greens and the pungency of the onion mingle with the strong, savory smoked salmon and the rich cream cheese. I see. The strong, complex aroma and flavor of the smoked salmon and rich cream cheese are not overwhelmed by the hearty bagel. This is good. I like sandwiches, but I think I prefer bagels. Let's try to find some at the castle. Next, I have a cup of hot coffee with milk and a little sugar. I like tea, but coffee is good too. But I want a beer or a glass of wine. It's daytime, so I hold off, but I'll try it next time. How is it? It's really delicious. I was so absorbed in the bagel that I gave a very simple answer to Wataru-san's question. But Wataru-san nodded with a look of satisfaction. If it were a merchant, he would want a more detailed answer, but, come to think of it, when I told him that I had been able to reach a satisfactory contract for the negotiations on the regular shipping route, he was satisfied with that alone. While I'm happy that he trusts me, it's a little sad that he doesn't ask me how I negotiated and what kind of compromise we made to come to an agreement. Negotiating with countries, high-ranking nobles, and guilds is something of a showcase for merchants. Well, I'll tell Donatella and the others about my adventures when I get back. Now, what shall I do next? Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Camille-san is eating a smoked salmon bagel sandwich with a delicious expression on her face. It's nice to see a beautiful woman eating with such a delicious expression, isn't it? So what do we do next? The goal is to give Camille-san a rest, but exercising is also a good way to relieve stress. You could go too far with fitness-related activities, but things like tennis and mini-golf are probably fine to include in your options. As for casinos, there's a slight chance she'll go crazy if she loses. So let's not do that. Never underestimate a merchant's passion for money. The other options are shows and movies. I'm torn. In a situation like this, I should just ask her directly. Even if it's something fun, it won't be therapeutic if she doesn't want to do it. Camille-san, what would you like to do next? Exercise or go to a play? Well, I just finished eating, so I'd rather go to the theater. That's right. It's hard to exercise after eating. I guess I'll have to save exercise for the next time I see Camille-san. Come to think of it, when I'm thinking about her health, raising her level is also an option. If her level goes up, her stamina will also go up, and she'll be more resistant to fatigue. This has nothing to do with the inspection of the ship, but I'll also prepare an opportunity for Camille-san to improve her level. Which would you prefer, the movie or the show? Well, the performers in the show are all Sapurabi. Then please do the show. That was a quick answer. It seems that Camille-san likes Sapurabi too. I wonder what would happen if she found out that Sapurabi was the end result of the horned rabbit I killed. Carla-san, Rimo and Fu-chan are still eating. Please. We slowly drank our coffee and went to the stage. Ara, you're making the room dark even though it's not a movie? Camille-san wondered why the room was dark. Yes, we need darkness for this show. There are different types of shows, but this time, I chose a light show. The reason is that the outline of the light formed in the darkness takes the shape of a saparabi, which is interesting. How cute! As the shapes of the many saparabi appeared in the darkness, I could hear Camille-san's exclamations of delight. Is being cute more important than being interesting? Well, if it makes her happy, that's the best. The Saparabi Illuminate show is technically very well done. It's beautiful and interesting in its own way. The other shows are a bit of a disappointment when it comes to the Saparabi. The female roles are also played by Saparabi, so it's a bit of a letdown. The costumes are from the play, so it's a shame when the Saparabi wear costumes with deep slits or costumes that would have been worn by sexy beauties. The Illuminate show is great because you can't see those parts. Camille-san's healing plan is going pretty well so far. Striving for the Luxury Liner, Volume 21 Chapter 17. Chapter 17, Healing Complete. The plan to heal the tired Camille-san went smoothly, and I treated her to a full program of entertainment, including a beauty treatment, shopping, a stylish meal, and an illuminating show. Even the serious Camille-san was smiling and seemed to be enjoying herself, even though she didn't forget that she was there to inspect the Chris. I'm glad I planned this. Camille's point of view. I'm thinking about dinner soon, but is that okay with you, Camille-san? After watching Saparabi-chan's cute show, we decided to do some light exercise and played a round of mini golf. It wasn't really strenuous exercise, but after eating a light lunch, I was hungry enough. Yeah, I'm fine. I wonder what the meals are like on this ship. Even considering the light lunch, it can't be bad, so I have high expectations. Wataru-san and the others took me to a place where I recognized the characters. I was a bit disappointed because I had high expectations. There's also Japanese food on the castle ship, and it's delicious, but I prefer other dishes. I really like tempura, though. Maybe I got a little carried away. Wataru-san, why is the quality of the Japanese food so different, even though it's the same food? No, it's not that the Japanese food on the castle is bad, but it almost feels like the cuisine of another country. The Japanese food at the castle is more showy, but the taste is undoubtedly better here. Well, I think that's probably because. I see. So, is this restaurant supervised by a top chef in the Japanese cuisine genre? He explained that it was different from fake Japanese food, which I didn't understand, but I understand that the quality of the chef is important. I also understood that the goal was different. No, I understood the difference in the concept of the ship itself, but I was a little surprised that it would also affect the food. It's common for royalty and the wealthy to spend a lot of money on food for the show, but the emphasis is more on how many rare ingredients you can get your hands on than on the taste. Wataru-san's ship is crazy. Well, just remember that the castle is a family-friendly ship that focuses on fun and ostentation, and this ship is for adults. When you think about it, the Japanese food on the castle is more in line with the atmosphere of that ship. It's a bit of a shame for me because the Japanese food here was more to my taste, but considering the size of the ship and the level of the facilities, the castle is more profitable, so I can't be picky. The dish called liver pate was really delicious. When I leave the ship, I'll ask Wataru-san if I can take some home as a souvenir. Thank you for the delicious food. Wataru-san, it was really delicious. I even enjoyed the dessert. The chocolate souffle cake was the best. I think I'll take some home as well. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Wataru-san smiled, perhaps sensing my good mood. I think it's great that he can share in other people's happiness so easily. In the business world, you have to be wary of people's smiles, so someone like Wataru-san is very valuable. Moro-san and Donatello are also important colleagues, but they pursue their own interests, so I can't let my guard down. Bella-san and Flora are also surprisingly tough, and the main focus of the healing is Saparabi-chan and the children at the orphanage. If I were working locally, I could complain to my friends, but it's hard to go see them when I'm working on the castle. Well, it seems like Wataru-san is worried that I'm working too hard, so when I go back to Southern City, I'll take some time off and go see my friends. Since Wataru-san is asking the blacksmith which Gilmer's introduced him to do some work, there should be enough time for that. What are you going to do now, Camille-san? You can rest in your room or have a drink at your leisure. Well, I'm a little tired, so I think I'll go back to my room for now. I'm also a little worried about getting drunk and not being able to check out the comfort of my room, so I'll have a drink tomorrow. Okay then. Let's call it a night. Even though I understand that Wataru-san isn't that kind of person, I'm a little disappointed that it's over so easily. Even though he seems to care about the other person, it's normal for business partners to have a long conversation from now on, so I almost start to doubt my own attractiveness. I really dislike men who try to get me with all kinds of tricks, but this is a delicate situation. I'm aware that Wataru-san has feelings for me, but, well, Wataru-san is surrounded by women, so there's no need for me to be so eager. But that doesn't mean I can't be satisfied, which is the complicated thing about a woman's heart. He seems to arrange opportunities for me to drink, so maybe I can make him understand my appeal? While I was thinking of something dangerous, I returned to the room escorted by Wataru-san and the others. I sit down on the sofa and ask Saparabi-chan to make me some tea. The room is comfortable and has first-class furniture, although it seems a little too grand for me. I'm definitely tired, but it would be a shame to fall asleep right away. I think I'll take a shower and order some drinks from room service. *****. It was really good. When I invited Camille-san with the aim of healing her, I did my best to entertain her for 3 days, and I think that feeling came through because we became much closer than before I invited her. Or rather, we had a great time drinking and making noise together. Also, Camille-san's sex appeal made me dizzy. Camille-san becomes very sexy when she drinks. The closeness made me nervous, and I almost confessed my feelings. Well, when I saw Camille-san's face up close, the huge difference in our levels brought me back to my senses. When there's such a huge difference in face value, it's hard to even dream. But Camille-san also seems to have healed. Her complexion has improved dramatically, and she seems to have regained her energy. So I think this mission was a great success. She also increased her level during those 3 days, so her stamina has also increased, and she should be fine for her next job in the Aquamarine Kingdom. In addition, after the invitation was over, Camille-san went to visit her friend in the southern city, and it seemed that she had a good time there as well, and her radiance increased even more. Hey, are you listening? Don't take me for a fool. Oh no, it seems that the rude blacksmith has seen through my daydream. Sorry, I don't know much about weapons. I'll leave the maintenance to Ins and Felicia, so please teach them. Don't leave the things that protect you to others, you idiot. He spoke his mind directly, but it was a fair point, so I couldn't say anything. But if I could make an excuse, I don't think I could do anything with the orichalcum dagger since I've never even cleaned a kitchen knife. But you just washed and wiped the kitchen knife, right? I could do that, but I don't quite understand why the care instructions increase just because it's a kitchen knife that's been turned into a dagger. Are you stupid? You can't cut a living thing with the same blade you use to cut food. Is that true? Well, in my case, I never use the dagger, so I don't have many opportunities to take care of it. I'll take good care of it, but I'll leave the maintenance to Ins and Felicia. First of all, why is the reaction to getting an orichalcum dagger less than when you got the kitchen knife? You're losing your mind. You should just die. If I told him that I was definitely happier with the kitchen knife, he'd probably go crazy. Hey, master, I want to try the dagger. Ins speaks to me, ignoring the angry blacksmith. She has a very strong heart. She's also in a good mood because she's holding the orichalcum sword, and her smile is incredibly bright. Even if you say you want to try it, what are you going to do? Basically, we take care of the sea monsters from a distance. Does she plan to get up close and fight them? Let's do one last job on the southeastern island. She wants to go with Marina-san and the others to see how the sword feels. But shouldn't we go to the Aquamarine Kingdom? I don't think it's right to postpone our departure just so Ins can test her sword. It won't make any difference if we leave a few days later. Besides, Camille has finished her work this time, so we can camp together, right? Hey Camille, aren't you interested in the southeastern island? I'm sure Marina and the others won't mind, right? Oh, Ins got the ladies involved. Eh? Oh, that's right. I've never been to the southeastern island before, so I'm interested. Camille-san, who was suddenly thrown into the conversation, shows her interest even though she is confused. I don't mind. I'll have a hot sandwich. I like that island, too, so it's no problem. Marina-san, Carla-san, and Claretta-san also seem to have no problem. When I turn to look at Felicia, the last person. She smiles at me. There seems to be no problem. Ah, I understand. Then we'll all go to the Aquamarine Kingdom after we finish the request on the southeastern island. To be honest, the prospect of a fun event like camping with Camille-san, who I've become close to, is very tempting for me as well. Ins is really good at going her own way, isn't she? Hey, you bastards, don't talk about whatever you want in my store. If you've got nothing to do, piss off, you bastards. Before the girls could answer, the rude blacksmith became angry. Anyway, let's go and accept the request. I have a good reputation and my own Japanese-style boat, so I'm sure we'll be able to accept the request. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Camping on the southeastern island, including with Camille-san, was a lot of fun. Striving for the luxury liner, Volume 21 Chapter 18. Enjoy. Chapter 18. It doesn't mean anything in particular. I was able to carry out Camille-san's healing plan perfectly and complete the negotiations in the southern city without incident. I was just camping, making a hot sandwich maker, and making an orichalcum knife, but I'd like to say that the healing went well, and everything is okay. What, True-san, could you check these documents for me? Why yes. Oh, if you do that, it'll be hard at first, but it'll get easier later. That would be a great help. What, True-san, if we sell this product of the Chris as a limited edition on the castle? Wow. What, True-san, this dish is really delicious, but is it possible to reproduce it at the castle? The harbor of the next destination, the Aquamarine Kingdom, is influenced by Wataru-san. Owawa, the southeastern island. It's a bit inconvenient, but I really missed the good times we had there when we all enjoyed ourselves together. In the end, we all enjoyed a vacation on the southeastern island, including Camille-san. I played the role of a reliable guy and helped Camille-san, who was a little unused to the situation, and Inz was also very pleased with herself for being able to make good use of the orichalcum sword. We finished the job on the southeastern island and left the southern city with a great sense of satisfaction. We planned to take a leisurely sea voyage to our next destination, the Aquamarine Kingdom, but then something unexpected happened. Camille-san was in great shape. The plan was to give Camille-san a relaxing break, but the relaxation gave her energy and made her become a corporate warrior. It's like she could fight for 24 hours straight. It's no good if she gets tired before the actual event, so we somehow managed to limit her working hours to the morning only, but I wonder why she can't relax. I've declared that I don't work in the afternoon, so from the perspective of a typical office worker, it should be a white-collar environment that makes them want to kill me. Could it be that Camille produces an incredible amount of work in the morning? Oh, I see. Inz is probably right. I want to complain, but this work is basically for my benefit first, so when it's explained to me, I can't escape it. It's like when you set a time limit, they counter with density. Camille-san is really talented. Well, there's also delicious work being distributed to the castle, so it's hard to deny that it's being adjusted to benefit me in the end. Or rather, I think it's more like Camille-san is trying her best to repay the favor by working for me because she felt grateful to me for healing her. I can't say that it's a nuisance because I can really feel Camille-san's goodwill. I wonder if this is also a case of karma? Yes, the plan for Camille-san to negotiate with the government and handle the paperwork for Master in the Aquamarine Kingdom, as the castle is sure to be of great help to Master. Felicia, who usually doesn't get involved in work-related matters, also joins the conversation and agrees. Yes, it's true. Camille-san has come up with a concrete plan to deal with this hellish paperwork. Up until now, I've been working as a sole proprietorship, but Camille-san's wonderful suggestion was that the castle become a corporation and sponsor and take on the role of handling the complicated business for me. Even though it meant bringing some work into the vacation time, it was impossible to resist the temptation, and with a tail wagging like a dog, I prepared the documents for the power of attorney and contract with the god of commerce Sama, as well as the letters of introduction to the Aquamarine Kingdom's network of contacts. Well, I had never written a letter of introduction before, and I had trouble remembering the full names of the important people I knew, let alone their first names. In the end, I couldn't remember them, so I ended up having to introduce the people I couldn't remember myself. I didn't even want to remember the full names of the nobles in the first place, so it can't be helped. All I could remember was that I wanted to get home from the meeting as soon as possible. Even though it will still be difficult when we get there, I'm motivated by the thought that the castle will take the lead from now on. What Trusan, are you here? If it's work, please postpone it until tomorrow. Today is free time. I go on alert when Camille-san suddenly appears. Even if you're motivated, spare time is spare time. In order to maintain my privileged circumstances, I need to have a strong heart that can refuse. Fufu, I'm not here to talk about work. I've come to invite you to the cafe for tea. If I were an ordinary person, I would jump at the chance to have a cup of tea with a beautiful woman like Camille-san. But I'm a Japanese person who can learn. I don't fall into a sweet trap so easily. Before I knew it, the tea party had turned into a meeting. I've seen this many times before. Oh, I just want to relax and do nothing today, so I'll have tea some other time. Is that so? I wanted to try the pool today, so I was hoping to have a relaxing cup of tea at the pool cafe, but I'm disappointed. Well, let's have tea then. What kind of swimsuit do you have, Camille-san? If you don't mind, would you let me give you a swimsuit as a gift? It's a different story when you mention a swimming pool. Even if it's a way to work, I'll change if I see Camille-san in a swimsuit. Is that okay? Yes, all my time today is for Camille-san. Please give me any orders. I'll work hard. I'll loosen the purse strings. ******. We talked about work, but because Camille-san herself chose a swimsuit with less fabric, I was very happy while working. *****. After a rather restless journey, we finally arrived near the Aquamarine Kingdom. Should we go to the Lotto now? It was a trip where Camille-san was in control. But I got to know Camille-san really well, and I also discovered that she had a devilish side. To be honest, I thought it wouldn't be so bad to be at the mercy of a beautiful woman every day. Well, I've been tossed around by Carla-san, and Rimu before, but Camille-san had a wonderful, very mature feel to her. Cunning Camille-san had a similar feel to Ilma-san, and it made me shiver. Not good. I think my strange sexual tendencies are about to awaken after such a long journey. Master, aren't we leaving? I don't know why, but I feel a tremor in my body when I think that we are finally arriving at the Aquamarine Kingdom. When I thought that we would arrive soon after transferring to the Lotto, my body began to tremble. Even when I tried to remember the fun trip and the slightly erotic Camille-san, the shaking wouldn't stop. Master, this time it'll be fine. Camille is here, you know. What do you mean? In's eyes became very soft. Oh, is this a trauma? Does that mean my body is rejecting me because the last job was too hard? I see, that makes a lot of sense. At that time, I had become so crazy that I acted strangely. When I fell into the other world, I had a hard time at first, but when the ship summoning began to show its power, I was enveloped in a warm, gentle feeling. It's only natural that my body would react to being suddenly thrown into boiling water after being wrapped in such kindness. It was very painful. But if I know the reason, I should be able to handle it. Right? I take a deep breath, close my eyes, and vividly imagine that from now on, I can leave all my work to Camille-san and the castle. I don't seem to have suffered any serious trauma, and I can feel the trembling in my body gradually subside. This is the kind of trauma or conditioned reflex that makes your stomach hurt before a test. If you know the reason, you can deal with it, so it's not a big problem. Well, even though it's a charitable donation, it's a huge amount of money. It's an act that's close to a good deed. It really seems unreasonable that I should be traumatized, even if it's just a little. I guess I should show some understanding because there were too many beastmen gathered, and it wasn't a joke. Probably. Deep down, I'm not really happy with the situation. But I'm an adult over 20, so I'll just have to swallow it. If it hadn't been decided that I could just leave everything to Camille-san and the others, I think I would have run away because of the trauma. Then let's go. I've calmed down, so I give the signal, and we leave. I can see the harbor we're building in the Aquamarine Kingdom. My body seems to be shaking for a different reason than before. It's turned into something amazing. I think Marina-san's muttering simply expresses the situation. Yes, it's become something amazing. Maybe it's because it's far away, but it looks like people are scurrying around like ants on a construction site. I think they probably prepared as much work as they could and put it into building the harbor because I signed so many documents last time. I also informed them that I would provide additional funds and gave William-san even more discretion. I think they are making full use of the people they have gathered. Camille-san, how about inspecting the harbor? I have a feeling I don't want to go near it. To be honest, I can imagine a scene of a large number of muscular beasts working hard and sweating. I understand that it's not good to think of people working hard in a way that belittles them. But whether I want to go near such a place as a man is another matter. It looks very hot. Of course, I'll check it out. I don't know if we can dock directly, but it's definitely a port that will be more closely associated with the castle, right? I understand. My faint hopes were dashed in the face of Camille-san's passion for her work, and I decided to give up and head for the harbor. As I approached, I could see that the port was progressing well. The docking area, which was barely big enough to accommodate the ship that brought the materials last time, had expanded considerably, and there was a lot of space left. There seems to be enough room to dock the Lotto, but it would probably be safer to set sail after the inspection and sneak ashore. No doubt it's more convenient to keep the ship's summoning slot free. I dock the Lotto at the dock and get ready to go ashore. I take my dark sunglasses with me, just in case. I wear dark sunglasses to protect my eyes from the strong sunlight in the harbor, and there is no other particular reason. It is not because I am afraid of the view's violence and want to soften it. There is nothing like that. Striving for the Luxury Liner, Volume 21 Chapter 19. Chapter 19, Whether or not it is necessary to protect it. After a lot of things happened, I managed to keep up with Camille-san, who was full of energy and strength, and arrived at the Aquamarine Kingdom aboard the Chris. The harbor under construction was crowded with people even from a distance, and I was a little confused about approaching it, but at Camille-san's request, we decided to inspect it. I put on my dark sunglasses and disembarked at the harbor. Excuse me, I'm looking for William-san or Yule-san, or the person in charge of this harbor construction. Are they here? I call the fisherman man, who is taking care of the dock. Whoa. What is that? Some kind of magic tool? He ignores my question and looks surprised. Ah, it seems he was surprised by my sunglasses. I see, dark sunglasses stand out even in Japan, so it's no wonder he thought they were magic tools in this world. Well, I don't plan on taking them off anyway. I don't want to stand out, but there are more important things for me to do. Oh, I'm sorry. The person in charge, right? Well, they're not exactly absent, but you need permission to visit. Everybody wants to meet them. If you want to meet them, you have to go through the proper channels at the Beastman village. It's natural for a merchant to want to get in on the current construction. Boom. This reaction is to be expected, as it was the same last time. But it's a hassle to come back for another port inspection, so I'll just give him my name and let him do something about it. The privilege of being a sponsor sounds wonderful. My name is Wataru. I have a deep connection to this construction project, so could you please tell the person in charge that I'm coming to visit? I try to sound confident. If I'm not known to the person in charge here, I'll be in big trouble, but it seems like the Beastmen are quite grateful to me, so I should be okay. But if it's possible, it would be better if William-san or Yule-san were here. Oh, I don't want William-san to come. I'm not ready yet. It's true that you don't look like an ordinary person, so I'll go and ask first. Just wait a moment. It's quite interesting that the caretaker's judgment that I'm not an ordinary person is based on my sunglasses and the beautiful women around me. Perhaps sunglasses are useful in unexpected places. Still, it's a pain to have to check people's IDs. Maybe I should make something that can be used as a badge, like a staff jacket or cap, something that would make it obvious that the wearer is involved. But since the Aquamarine Kingdom is a warm region, a jacket wouldn't work. A cap would be a good marker. It's not something I can do right away, but I'll come up with a design later. Oh, maybe something like a seal case would be easier if I'm going to give it to a key person involved in the construction. A hat doesn't seem appropriate, and if everyone knows who is it, it will make things easier later. So it was you, Wataru-san. I didn't recognize you with that object around your eyes. It's been a while. My master was waiting for you. While I was thinking about what to do next, the caretaker returned with Yule-san. This is the best possible development. Let's pretend I didn't hear about William-san. I'm sure Camille-san will take care of things. Also, please don't treat sunglasses like they're objects. They're also a fashion item. And they're also a branded item. Yule-san, it's been a while. I actually have a favor to ask. Oh, this is Camille-san. She's someone who will be acting on my behalf in business matters, so please treat her well. My name is Camille. My day job is as a ship captain, but I've also studied business and management, so I hope you'll treat me well. So you're Wataru-san's representative. We've had all kinds of problems with Wataru-san, so my master will be very happy. Yul-san's expression lit up when Camille-san was introduced. Anyone who wants Camille-san is an enemy, but judging by Yul-san's reaction, it feels like a useless boss has been replaced. So it's safe. But I'm sorry, I keep running away from work. Still, Yul-san's reserve is disappearing more and more. Well, I guess it's because of my lack of dignity, but I don't mind because it's easier to get along with someone who's friendly. Well, if they give me work to do without any consideration, I'll put up a fight. Meanwhile, Camille-san wants to inspect the harbor, so please take care of the formalities. An inspection? Master wants to see Wataru-san right away, so why don't we go to my master first? He'll give you a warm welcome. I'm not going. Even though Camille-san will be my representative, I want some more time to prepare. And by a big welcome, you mean a pile of paperwork, right? I understand. Then I'll show you around. Yul-san let it go with a wry smile. He was one of the people who saw my suffering, so I think he forgave me. Well, I'll leave the rest to Camille-san and just go on the tour. It was amazing. My thoughts on the tour, while Camille-san was asking detailed questions about the number of workers, the construction time, the wages, the size of the port, and even the management of the port, was summed up by this. Because in one sense, it was primitive, but in another sense, it was a construction scene that could only be described as fantasy. Although magic technology, such as magic tools, existed, they were basically expensive excavated items, so they were not used even though the funds were plentiful. To use such valuable tools, one needs not only money but also power of a different kind, such as authority and connections. I don't have such power, which requires communication, and the construction site is run with a lot of money and a lot of manpower. But this is a fantasy world where magic and monsters exist, and even though it's a human power, the basic ability is different here, so the construction seems to be progressing at an amazing speed. In the midst of all this, I, who had decided to just observe, finally asked a question. There are many beastmen here who are in a weak position, but for some reason, there are many men with bodies that would make a bodybuilder run barefoot. Or rather, almost all of them. These men work with their muscles bulging. As you'd expect, the muscle ratio is too high. Are these the figures of the oppressed? Yul-san answered my question this way. He said, physical labor that exhausts the whole body every day, combined with a nutritious diet made possible by abundant funds. There's no way that the bodies of these amazing beastmen wouldn't be built up, right? In other words, I've created a large group of muscle men by investing money. There's a saying that muscle is justice, and I'm not doing anything wrong, but for some reason, I feel like I've done something sinful. So I asked the next question. Is this okay? Won't the Aquamarine Kingdom side be wary of the beastmen? I would be scared to death if I were them. Yul-san replied with a Buddha-like face. Because of the contract with the god of commerce Sama, they aren't worried or suspicious, but they are scared in a different way. Also, they are enthusiastically supported by a certain part of the population. I felt that there were muscle followers everywhere. And the construction work done by these muscular men was really a fantasy because their bodies allowed them to play the role of heavy machinery. I began to question the meaning of the word fantasy, but there was nothing I could do about it. With that, the inspection of the harbor construction came to an end. Camille-san was deep in thought. But I'm sure she'll take care of things. We left the harbor with a firm promise to meet William-san. Camille-san, how was the construction? I asked Camille-san as we made our way to the disembarkation point on the Lutto. Well, it was more extensive than I imagined, so I was surprised. That's no surprise, as I, the person in charge of the construction, was also surprised. But aren't they also doing construction work in the Beastman city beyond the harbor? Also, it seems that William-san, who Wataru-san entrusted with the construction work, wants to build another village or town somewhere between the harbor and the city, so I think it's urgent that we get the whole picture. Huh? Did this information come out while I was shaking with muscles? Well, the harbor and the city are quite far apart, and I can understand that it would be convenient to have a village somewhere in between. The beastmen need work to make a living, and I think it's included in the charity budget, but just to be sure, I'll check with the god of commerce Sama next time I see him. If it gets too big, I'm not sure what will be included in the charity budget, so that's scary. I've come to something even scarier. Even the muscle group at the harbor made me nervous, so I wondered what the situation was like in Beastman City. I want to believe that things are normal there because I didn't feel any fear when I inspected it on my last visit, but my spirit was pretty beat up at the time, so I'm not so sure if the construction workers at the site, which is even bigger than the harbor, have also turned into extreme musclemen. Even though a magnificent wall is being built to protect the beastmen, I'm beginning to think that's not necessary. Well, there are women and children, so let's say the walls are necessary. I'm not sure, but I think they're necessary. Then shall we go and see William-san to get a better understanding of the situation? I don't want to see him, but it's the fastest and the most reliable way. Yes, but let's check the location of the halfway point first. I heard that Yule-san is sending investigators, and they're on their way, right? That sounds more efficient. Then let's do that. Oh, it'll be a long way, but are you okay with that? Last time, the beastmen went back and forth to maintain the roads and such, so the ranger couldn't be used. I think it'll be the same this time. We're going to walk? Although I don't get as much exercise in the castle as I used to, I do exercise in the gym, so I think I'll probably be okay. I think this is the first time I've seen Camille-san look so unsure of herself. But it's not surprising. The castle is comfortable and convenient. Although there are times when you have to walk around the ship, it's unlikely that Camille-san, who is in a managerial position, will be walking around a lot. Well, I'm sure the level will take care of that, so it shouldn't be a problem. Camille-san improved her level even more on this trip, so there shouldn't be any worries about her physical strength. What I was worried about was the boredom of walking and the idea of camping. Well, it looked like she was enjoying the camping, so I guess there's no need to worry too much. Instead, let's burn into my memory this precious shot of the slightly anxious and fragile Camille-san. Striving for the Luxury Liner, Volume 21 Chapter 20. Enjoy. Chapter 20. Stamp. We arrived at the port under construction in the Aquamarine Kingdom and inspected the site with Camille-san. The construction was progressing more smoothly than expected, and the bodies of the beastmen working there had grown even more than expected, becoming more muscular and bulky than I had imagined. I wondered if they even needed protection. Phew. The tremors that had subsided in my body suddenly returned. It's okay. There's nothing to be afraid of. I have Camille-san with me. I calm my heart by squeezing Rimu with both hands and feeling the presence of Pent around my neck. After briefly listening to the surveyor's story at the relay point, we hurried to the Beastman village, as it was still in the planning stages. Camille-san, whom I had been worried about, was fine, but the closer I got to the Beastman village, the heavier my legs felt and the more my body began to shake. Even though it was only a minor trauma, when you see the site of the trauma, you can't help but feel fear, and the shaking of my body didn't seem to stop. That's it, it's not logical. My heart, or rather my soul, is afraid of this place and the paperwork. It's okay, Master. That's right, Master, you don't have to be afraid of the paperwork anymore. Ins and Felicia, noticing my trembling, held my hands and spoke to me gently. Maybe it was the kindness that healed me, but my trembling subsided a little. That's right. I can't afford to be afraid here. I'll develop a smooth system for organizing documents, relying on Camille-san, and I'll gain true freedom. And then I'll have a wonderful life on the ship. When I muster the courage, or rather the desire, in my heart, the trembling of my body naturally subsides. It's a bit pathetic, even for me, but it seems that my mental structure is more dominated by desire than by trauma. But, well, it's better to be happy than to be in pain, so it's not a problem. Thank you, I feel better now. I thanked Ims and Felicia and then bowed to Marina and Camille-san, who had been watching over me with concern, and stepped into the Beastman village. Well, it's more of a town than a village. The atmosphere inside the village hasn't changed much from last time. The buildings are crowded together, and the beastmen's wives are chatting in the corridors while the children are running around. The standard of living here can't be called rich, but the village seems to be filled with happiness and vitality. This cheerfulness is based on hope for the future, and I feel a little proud to think that I was able to create this cheerfulness, even if it was just by spending the money on charity work. Unfortunately, I'm not the kind of person who can turn that pride into enthusiasm, but I'll do what I can. I walk through the street and out into the square, standing in front of the trauma-inducing guild. I want to go home. I stop because I don't want to go in, and the door opens, and William-san appears. God is dead. Oh, He's just living a normal life. I've actually met him before. I heard about Yule and have been waiting for you. Please come quickly. So Yule-san contacted William-san. From Yule-san's point of view, it might be natural, but from my point of view, I can't help but think it's unnecessary. I'm sure that everything is already prepared. As I stood there, my legs trembling like a fawn born to the world, something blocked William-san's view of me. You must be William-sama. I am Camille, Wataru-sama's representative. I'm sure you have something to say as well, but first, please arrange a meeting with Miranda-sama from the Merchants Guild. It will make things go more smoothly. It was Camille-san who protected me. To be honest, I want to marry her. Also, I get nervous when Camille-san calls me Sama. And it's kind of funny to see William-san being pushed around by Camille-san's authority. Well, I'm the one pushing William-san to do his job. I see. Miranda-san knows that Wataru-san is coming to visit, so she's staying here. I'll arrange for you to meet her right away. Huh? Miranda-san is here? Oh, thanks to Yule-san. This should make things go more smoothly. Sorry, I thought it was unnecessary. Still, Miranda-san moves very fast. Well, if you're not sensitive to such information, you can't be the guild master of the Merchants Guild. Thank you. With Camille-san's reply, things went smoothly. When it was my turn, I was forced to go to the document room, but it was different when there was someone who could speak properly. We were quickly led to a meeting room, and after a brief round of introductions, the meeting began. First of all, we will raise the annual fee that Wataru-sama pays to the Merchant Guild to Class A. At the same time, we will set up a trading company for Wataru-sama. Of course, Wataru-sama will be the head of the company, and I, Camille, will be his representative. Ins and Felicia, who are still slaves, will also be registered as members of the company. In addition, we plan to register the castle staff at a later date. Camille-san broke the ice. That was the perfectly reasonable solution Camille-san came up with for my problem. If it's not possible as an individual, why not form a trading company and share the work? Since it was a private company, I had to sign, but if I formed a trading company, I could delegate authority. The only thing that's too bad for me is that the gap between being an F-rank merchant and being really great will disappear. I haven't used that gap much so far, so it won't be much of a burden. Well, then, would you say that the plan to open a regular shipping route around Wataru-sama's trading company will go ahead? Miranda-san asks, looking happy. I wonder if she's happy about the profits or the cosmetics. Well, of course, it's both. But still, the smile of a merchant is amazing. They just seem happy and in a good mood, and I can't see any other emotions at all. And yet, the atmosphere is tense, and it feels like a battlefield. I can't see it, but I think Camille-san, who is sitting next to me, is probably smiling the same way. We are not at the stage where we can make any promises about that. It all depends on negotiations with the country and the guilds after we hire local staff. That's right. Hiring local staff. Even though Camille-san and the others will share the work, they don't want to become signature machines, so they plan to hire an employee with authority. They plan to give that employee authority and let him do the work. That's why, even though there is a contract with the God of Commerce Sama, Camille-san is looking for an employee she can trust as much as possible. I see. Then the Merchants Guild can introduce you to some people. No, since this is about beastmen, I'd like to leave the responsibility to a beastman. Both Mage-sama and Wataru-sama think the same. I think the temperature in this room has dropped. Could it be that the clash of wills between Miranda-san, who wanted to send someone, and Camille-san, who refused, created the cold air? It's really scary. The exchange between Camille-san and Miranda-san doesn't seem to end. Miranda-san explains that the responsibility of running a trading company is too much for the beastmen. They must have had a lot of bad experiences, and I agree in my heart that it would be hard to suddenly be in charge of a company. They're all muscle. I know there are intellectual muscles, but it seems to me that they're all simple-minded, especially if they haven't had an education. In response to that, the essence of this project is to help the beastmen, and if we're thinking about the future of the beastmen, we should use beastmen as managers. Also, Camille-san tells us that while beastmen men tend to be strong, women are fully capable of fulfilling the role of managers. Come to think of it, the beastmen around me are quite intelligent, especially Ilma-san and Camille-san. I see, so the strengths of the male and female beastmen are different? That might be a bit extreme. But if you think of it as a division of labor, It doesn't sound so bad. And from that point on, I couldn't follow the conversation. I could understand the surface of it, but I really struggled with the kind of backroom dealings that the merchants obviously engaged in. Very well then. Yes, we will make arrangements to meet your expectations. Camille-san and Miranda-san nodded and shook hands with refreshing smiles. So far, it was like, what? Are their parents enemies? But now they're acting like rivals who had a great match, and I really don't get it. Merchants are scary. What, Trusama? The main points have been agreed upon. The establishment of the trading company will be completed within a few days, so the next step is to secure employees. We will start interviewing tomorrow, so please be ready. Yes. I couldn't help but answer, but which is easier, the interviews or the paperwork? As I pondered this question without an answer, I made my way to the room the guild had prepared for us. It seemed that they knew we were coming and had prepared it for us. The room we were led to was the same as before. The room next to it, feeling a bad vibe from the previous workroom, I look in, trembling. A huge pile of documents, though not as much as last time. I feel like I'm going to throw up. Foo-foo. If you have to deal with this many documents, it's no wonder what Rusan doesn't want to do it. No, there were more than that last time. And they kept bringing more. But don't worry, this time, we're going to do it as a company, so you won't have to overwork yourself. Besides, once the company registration is completed, you'll be able to register the company stamp. This will save you the trouble of signing. Thank God, this suffering. A stamp? Isn't that like a seal? Wait, what? Excuse me, Camille-san, but could you use a stamp instead of a signature? If that's the case, I'm going to go crazy, aren't I? I've already prepared myself for tendinitis from signing so much. Are you talking about signing with a personal stamp? That's difficult. You can't register a stamp with the guild unless you're at least rank B, so it can't play any official role. I was relieved to hear this, and aside from lamenting the fact that I would have already raised my rank and registered my stamp if I'd known this, I was also relieved to know that all my previous efforts had not been in vain. Whether you agree with that or not is another matter. I see. Thank you for your help today, Camille-san. I'm tired, so I think I'll go to bed now. I bowed and entered the room I was shown to. I really want to drink some alcohol. Striving for the Luxury Liner, Volume 21 Chapter 21. Chapter 21. 3 Policies. The nerve-wracking meeting between Camille-san and Miranda-san ended without incident, and I was able to avoid being killed by paperwork. Well, I did feel a sense of despair when I realized the existence of the handy tool called a stamp at the end, but there was nothing I could do about it since I couldn't use it at the right time. That's right, I couldn't do anything about it. Was it really necessary for me to be here? Yesterday, I worked hard to finish the discussion, and today, the interview started as planned. Camille-san announced the schedule for this afternoon, tomorrow, and the next day at the guild this morning. Word spread quickly, and a large number of people showed up, even with the minimum requirements of being able to read, write, and do basic math. Since more than 80% of them were women, I think it's safe to say that the Beastmen men are in charge of the physical side of things, and the women are in charge of the intellectual side. I'm glad it's clear now. But even if I'm suddenly forced to sit in on the interview, I can't tell whether the people are good or bad. There were 2 interviewers, Camille-san and me, with Ins and Felicia assisting. Camille-san asked questions about the candidate's business knowledge and character, and the candidate answered. When the candidate left, I was asked for my impression of the candidate, and I just answered. Well, I can understand that my impression as a boss is important, but to be honest, I hardly ever have anything to do with them, so I felt like it was a waste of time. Also, there were a lot of women, but there were also a lot of older people, and the young women were just running away, so you could see that they were struggling, and it was kind of a pitiful situation, so I couldn't get excited like a fool, and it was a quiet, painful time. Besides, they all really want to get a good job, but at the same time, they want to repay me for what I've done for them. I feel bad giving them a bad evaluation, even though I know it's necessary. It still hurts my heart. What, Trusan, can I talk to you? After the interview, I was slumped over my desk when William-san came into the room. It's okay, but I won't do the paperwork. If I have to do endless paperwork after exhausting my mind to the limit, my mind will collapse. What, Trusan, it's okay, so please let go of my hand. Dealing with the paperwork will be the job of the trading company. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. I was so afraid of William-san that I grabbed Camille-san's arm, who was checking the documents related to the interview next to me. I'm more afraid of William-san than I thought. So, what can I do for you? I collected myself and asked William-san what he wanted. Yes, I have a consultation regarding our future plans. Oh, it looks like it will be a bit long. So is it okay if I sit down? Oh, yes, please. William-san sits down in the applicant's seat. Until just now, I was in the position of examining the applicant, but for some reason, I feel the pressure of being interviewed now. I see. That was a long explanation, but it's certainly something I have to think about. William-san's consultation was about the problem of the excessive increase in the number of beastmen. At the moment, the main city for the beastmen has been expanded from the original plan and is absorbing personnel. The next step is to build a port, and the final step is to build a village or town halfway between the beastmen city and the port. I thought there wouldn't be any problems, but it seems there were a lot of problems. The main problem was that there wasn't enough water. There was only one stream nearby, and it couldn't supply enough water for a large number of people. So, they are doing a lot of construction to use the moat as a reservoir. However, if the city continues to expand, even if they build a moat and lay water channels throughout the city, there will be a limit. It seems that if people become too crowded, various problems will arise. After all, living things need water, so this problem is very serious. As a countermeasure, William-san made 3 suggestions. The first one is a very simple solution. Stop accepting any more beastmen. Of course, this is a natural countermeasure, but when I think about rejecting people who have fled in desperation, I hesitate. I suppose it is the government that makes that decision, but I am not the government, so I would like to avoid making a difficult decision if possible. The second solution is also an easy one. Build another larger city in another location. Considering the increase in work and the dispersion of people, it's not a bad plan. However, if we were to build another huge city, we would run out of our ample budget. As for the budget, it could be managed if I bought a ship, but buying a ship just to make ends meet would be putting the cart before the horse, and I'm afraid the god of commerce Sama would be furious. The third solution is very time-consuming and expensive. At the same time as building many small villages, they would lay out a network of waterways throughout the area and must produce reservoirs. I don't know the details, but it would probably be a project similar to the irrigation canal project on the Chita Peninsula. It would be extremely time-consuming, but there would be some good things about it. By building many reservoirs and laying out a network of waterways around them, even if they are small, the amount of land that can be used as farmland would increase. The soil is poor, so it's not as good as land with rich soil, but still, being able to grow crops is a big difference, and it also creates jobs. Soil improvement and farmland development also become jobs, and the fact that it can alleviate the employment problem that was a concern is also significant. In terms of cost, the initial investment is less than if we were to suddenly increase the size of the city, and the employment will continue with the continuation of the civil engineering work. The problem is that it costs money to maintain. The villages are small, and it's hard to manage the villages and waterways. Also, in my opinion, the concept was to build a city with strong walls to protect the beastmen, who were easy targets at first, but that safety could no longer be guaranteed. However, looking at the beastmen, who are now so well built, it's not unreasonable to wonder if walls are really necessary. What do you think, Camille-san, Ins and Felicia? If you don't know, ask someone who does. This is important. Well, the second one is impossible. I would like to choose the first one, but Watru-san wouldn't like that, would you? Then the third one is probably the most likely at the moment. Developing land to create profit and jobs is the work of a ruler. But Watru-san is similar to that. Camille-san's decision as a merchant was the first option, but it seems that as my subordinate, she chose a policy that wouldn't cause me any mental stress. Well, if that was the way to ruin, I would probably choose the first option too, considering the mental stress it would cause me, but fortunately, we had the strength to develop the land, so it was the third option. Besides, I'm not like a ruler. I'm free. It's a bit of a hassle, but as a fellow beastman, I'd be happy if you chose the second or third option. But if we're in a pinch, I'd understand if you chose the first option. In said everything I was thinking. That's right, I don't want to make any sacrifices. Considering Master's personality and Camille and In's judgment, Don't you think we should consider the third option or some other option? You're right, it's an important issue, so Felicia is right that we need to consider other options. The third option would neglect the safety of the beastmen. What's the matter, William-san? It's dangerous to make decisions that affect the future of so many beastmen so lightly. That's what I thought, but William-san made a strange face. No, you seem to be worried about the beastmen, but I don't think there are that many reckless humans who would try to kidnap beastmen in a place where so many of them have gathered, do you? Eh? Is that so? Well, thinking about the muscular beastmen, I wondered if they needed protection, but still, women and children are in danger, right? Yes. Everything from the harbor to the city is mainly inhabited by beastmen, so even if the human population increases in the future, the humans will still stand out. It's not impossible to kidnap them, but the risk and reward don't balance out. I see. Even if you find a wallet on the ground, if the area around you is a minefield, you'd probably give up. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but it's true that the risk of being attacked by the conspicuous, muscular beastmen is high. If you wanted to balance the risks, you'd probably have to attack in a big way and kidnap a lot of beastmen. But then you'd need a lot of ships, and it would be easy for your plans to be discovered beforehand. If they know it's dangerous, they can evacuate to a city with a good city wall, and most importantly, it is possible to intercept them with an army of beastmen. It's not something I should be careless about, but it doesn't seem like it's something I should be overly nervous about. When the castle arrives at the port, there will be more people. Well, the people who ride the castle are basically rich, and people like that don't visit small villages on purpose, so there's no need to worry about them being mistaken for kidnappers. If that's the case, we'll go with the third policy, and if we come up with a better idea, we'll revise it. If there's no danger, my conscience won't be troubled, and everyone will be happy. The third policy is enough. I understand. Then let's think about it with this policy. William-san nodded in satisfaction. It seems that William-san was also in favor of the third option. Come to think of it, the only work I've asked William-san to do is the Beastman City. But the fact that he's thinking about so many things means that he must find this work very rewarding. I have many thoughts about how he's put me in a paperwork hell, but the fact is that he's doing more work than I asked him to. I'll ask Camille-san to give William-san a bonus later. After the meeting with William-san, Camille-san returned to her room to organize the documents. Well, I'm tired today, so I'm going to go to bed now, but tomorrow. No. I have a few more interviews to go to. After the interviews, Camille-san will have a meeting about the regular shipping routes, right? I'll go and inspect the site, but what should I do after that? I'm sure some weirdos will show up if I show my face in the capital. In's family and Flora-san are at the castle, so there's no need to force myself to show my face. I've got time on my hands, so when I settle down, I'll go to the Mermaid Kingdom and show my face. No, if I'm going to the Mermaid Kingdom, Camille-san might want to come too. After I've settled down, we'll all talk about what to do next. Side note: Volume 22 is up ch14. Until next, stay well. Feel free to request audiobooks with the links below. Thank you.